All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. This is Nadine. You're here at Let's Paint and Draw Along. This is part four of Hanging with Panda. We're just getting situated, get your things together. We may be a few minutes behind. We like to have a little chit chat. But we are working with watercolor now. We're in the watercolor stage. Don is on the side. I believe he's getting his coffee. We're also joined with Miss Sue-Ann. And just so you know, if you want to join us like Miss Sue-Ann is joining us, like those Mavericks, I know the Mavericks are out there. They're out there. And the experience of just sitting along and being able to ask questions live, because whatever questions you might have, other people are probably thinking the same thing. So that's why we like to do it. Plus, this is an art community. We are part of the art fam here at Let's Paint and Draw Along. And this is really about establishing that community where we create together. Yes. So with that in mind, get your things together. We should be I'm got a couple things. I want to make sure we are live in the other locations. So forgive me if I'm looking up. All right. Well, that's there. A little problem with my second camera. So forgive me. So far, this is where I am. Not bad. I'm feeling pretty good about it. There you go. Yes, you. There you go. All right. I'll live with that for a moment. All right. Also, we do have a Patreon, where you can go over to that Patreon at Don and Nadine O. I can also post a link for you here in the stream right now. A lot of it is like that negotiating, going in and out to locations. Let's see here. That's not where I want to be. There you go.
These pens are really fun.
Yeah,
Really
I went to, where did I go? How was it? Oh, yeah, I went to Hawaii. And so I took a travel pack of my Derwent watercolor, and it had a small brush in there, which was just like that. And then I got another pack later. But when I was in Hawaii, I only had one brush, and it was a small one like this. And it was a lot of fun. I was on the beach, and I was, doing the little trying to sketch and whatnot, and that was a lot of fun. Don, he inspired me to do that. So I do really like the pocket set. I really enjoyed the experience. So, and the brushes we're talking about are the ones that you can put water inside. A couple of them I do have water, and you can squeeze it, the water comes out. It's a lot of fun. It's all about the journey, baby. All about the journey. The thing I remembered this time that I didn't before was a little spritz bottle. So Don will talk about that. I know Don's listening in the background, as instructors do. but let's see. Just in case he says, bring back out your sketch and wash pencils. I wanted to be ready for that. And let's see, am I missing anything? Pretty much. I just want to say, oh wow, this looks kind of cool. Got my brushes right here. Oh, we need containers to put the water in so we can swish around the brushes. So don't forget about that. Also, oh yeah, I was supposed to get to, okay, let me go. Y'all, I apologize. I'm trying to do a couple things here. Why didn't I go to the other channel? Your channel. Ah, there you go. We are live, looking good on YouTube. Let's see here. I'm going to share that. I want to make sure that our Patreon friends will also have the link. It's not automatic, so if you ever do a Patreon channel, it ain't automatic. At least right now that I can figure it out. Hanging with Panda part 4. Let's see here. Don's getting stuff situated. I'm not hearing him right now. So hopefully it will be soon. Why isn't it selected? Oh, radio. Oh, I meet all the requirements. Why is it doing that? It's not allowing me to publish. All right, well, I'm gonna need a little more time to get this up on Patreon. So before the afternoon is out, I should have that up. Something's going on. Always keep my water bottle so I can fill my little areas up for the painting.
Nadine,
Yeah.
Nadine, excuse me. I couldn't get the Patreon thing to work. I tried. It didn't, it had a place where I could join for free, but that didn't work. Then I couldn't click on anything that allowed me to donate or, say, for instance, a $20 a month member like that. I got to the page you recommended to me, but then I couldn't get it to work.
Okay, so what I need to do is I need to walk through the process and see if what's going on and if I have to make a call. Yeah, so let me get back to you on that to see what's going
Sure.
on, okay? No, I appreciate you
Yep.
letting me know because we don't know because for us, I'm running it. And so I'm not really going through that process. So I definitely want to take a look at that and appreciate your patience.
No problem.
Let's see here. Schedule a post. So again, Don, I'm not hearing you. So I see he's putting his headsets down. So
Yeah.
that's good. So let me see by him spotlighting. I want to make sure that works. So we get this view. Everything else looks good. Okay. Something's going on. Auto save. All right. There you go, everyone. Make sure you have all your materials together. And Facebook, in our Facebook group, I have posted the picture up so that you can see it. It's in the featured section of the Panda. I did the color version since now we're working with color. I haven't figured out why this is not going. Let me see here. I'm going to do it a different way.
Where are my colors? Oh, that's right.
There you
No,
go.
no, no. You know what?
Hanging
Excuse me.
with Panda, part 4. Ooh, I hear the echo. Let's see here. Part 4. You can still hear me, Sue Ann, right? Okay, great. I want to make sure we weren't getting an echo. Join on. All right. Don, make sure you don't mix the paint in with that drink over there.
No, we
Well,
did that last night, so
uh,
I'm
uh.
already past that. I do that at least once or twice a day. It may go from the bad one is when you do it with oil. That's when it's bad.
Oh,
But the
yeah.
acrylic and the watercolor and the gouache and stuff and ink, it just, gives you a slight bubble guts when you do it. That's how I'm aware.
Yes, it does. So we're going to sit here. Okay, let's see if this works like this.
Oh, sorry about that noise. That's right next to the mic.
Oh, it wasn't too bad.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I just want to say Patreon is being finicky, even when I was trying to update the live there, because I have to do it manually. And
We've been having
yeah.
a lot of glitches and stuff over the World Wide Web and everything. So
Oh yeah, it's been
yeah, so think about it. It might be a couple of different things going on that, may be part of Patreon, may be part of those attacks and things like that, or
right.
glitches in the system.
Did you
Well,
did you hear?
Verizon didn't have any service for like a day or something.
Yeah.
AT&T was out too.
Oh, AT&T. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was some other anomalies on the internet too, with people having a hard time paying things and apps not working and stuff. So
Right. I'm telling you, I was getting alerts that my payments weren't going through, and I go to look, and my credit card, the date for the expiration date was I still had 2 years on it,
yeah,
and it was rejecting the payment. So like everything is, if you don't pay, you're gonna have your service was gonna be canceled. So that was Zoom. That was the streaming app that I use that everyone sees right now. That was what else? Email app. All these things that I use every day. That and then last but not least, oh, yeah, I can't hear. Oh, sorry. I'm looking up. I should be looking up. And so I'm trying to do that, but then I don't know if you overheard that I had the pop-up that was saying I had a virus and I needed to call Apple support. And then it was saying all kinds of stuff. My email was on the dark web and banking was in, you need to check this and check that. And I was just like, oh man, it's like raining, it's pouring.
yeah, that's what happens with those Macs,
Yeah, and it usually
man.
doesn't. You know,
I had to,
usually,
I had to throw a little jab at you over
I
that one,
know,
man.
but usually, here's the thing, it kind of is like um a rub on the nose a little bit. I only say that because it's like you you spend a little more money. That's how I was seeing it when I was working regular.
Mhm.
It's now different. I'm going to have to rethink things. But you spend a little more money for a little bit of supposed extra security. Um, and then suppose it that the machinery is going to last longer than the average PC. But now I'm in a position where I don't have as much wiggle room. It's much more rigid. So the Apple is much more rigid than a PC and
Mhm.
dealing with that. So, and now I'm making a shift to open source. And
Oh, coming my way, huh?
right. So now as I'm making that switch, there are things in terms of open source that Apple may
Doesn't
or
support.
doesn't support or is really finicky about. So it's just trying to do that and then also keep our members safe. When I think about it, there's a lot of stuff going on with in terms of information and how our information is shared. And we had a nice conversation last week. I wonder what we're gonna talk about this week.
Mm-hmm.
Hanging from the trees, looking down at the world as everybody's going crazy like Panda is doing.
Everybody's not going crazy. Where is everybody going crazy?
Well, I just was saying it. But politically, the atmosphere is a little woohoo.
How so?
I would say because of the division.
What division?
Well,
What division?
the division, I guess because I don't want to shoot out any keywords that are gonna like
I
put a red
understand,
flag.
but division between Republican and Democrat. Is there
The
really a
blue,
division there?
no, there was in the end, the blue and the red side, they are all the same.
I
But
know, but I'm just talking about in general. We're looking at the situations, we're looking at things being delivered to us and being formatted and placed in front of us like somebody's directing.
right.
So I'm trying to say, where is the differences really at? If it's really divisive like that, or is it really divisionist like that, then there should be a real fine line where we can see it. But there is no fine line where we can see a real good division, because it seems like it's a good tennis course game or a good basketball game with blue versus red and, all that good stuff. So I don't know, point it out to us. So I know for me, I love the amphitheater, it's good entertainment.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's like a boxing match, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens, And
Right.
then while we're looking at what happens with that, we're missing all the other stuff that they're putting in on the house floor.
Yup. Isn't that
And that's
something?
what we got to watch out for. No, that's why I watch C-SPAN and that other stuff at 3 a.m. to watch what they're
Yep.
talking about on the house floor.
Yep. Isn't that something? You just let that play in the background and turn around and went, what? How
Yeah,
much money did they give to who?
yeah, a couple
When
of
did that
trillion
happen?
already. Yeah, they already gave it already. It's already there.
It's
Now they
already
got to
there.
recoup. So when you're in a
Where's it
position
coming
of you got to
from?
recoup, you know where it's coming from? Us. Yeah, and then us being slowed or not being able to see certain things while they're being displayed to us. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what happens. So
It's like, why do they do it in the middle of the night or the middle of the morning? Because they know
because,
everybody's sleeping.
well, no, they just know people are not going to go through it to really assess all the information coming live. That's a small percentage of people that do that. How many other people that's in a position that really vote and worry about all of that really does that? Darn near nil. So that's what lies that situation. If I put it on late enough, it's not that everybody sleep, it's just that they're not going to look. A certain percentage is not going to look. A certain percentage is considered loonies. So loonies are always watching, you know what I mean?
The loonies.
So, yeah, they call you loony, crazy, or whatever, aluminum foil hat, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Those are the people that are up 3 a.m. watching stuff like that,
Right.
really engaged, really nervous about where the times is going. And then you have everybody else that wakes up around about 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or they wake up around 5 and don't check the news until around about 6, 7 o'clock. And those are the people that where the news is already formatted now for them. And, now it's pre-recorded, taped, and everything is suggested all the way through. So, yeah, that's the ebb flow of our communications in America.
Yes, it is.
To have fear of it, nah. To worry about it, nah. I'll watch it just like I watch any other TV channel or TV station or, edutainment type of thing. Because it's still entertainment, you know. I mean, Trump, you know, giving Biden the business, Biden trying to give everybody else the business, you know, Republicans trying to find, Democrats trying to find a candidate in time to refute Donald Trump and so on and so forth. A lot of calamity. But I would say to everybody, just watch that other stuff. Watch the local bills and things that they're indoctrinating and passing through. You know, watch our mayor in Philadelphia clean up the joint.
Yeah, it should be real interesting to see.
Oh, it is. If you're watching it, and she's cleaning up pretty good. She's getting extra cops on the street. So you can see it. You know, yeah, you still see some people, you know, the drug addicts out there, but that's even cleaned up, you know, somewhat. And you know, hopefully she'll still be supported for this type of cleanup that she's doing.
Right.
That's what I would say. It's an arduous task trying to help a human being that doesn't want to be helped.
Right.
So, you know, do you find them? Do you help them or her? Do you find them? What do you do? That is the question.
Yeah, because even if you try to help people, sometimes they, you know, like say someone who lives on the street, they really don't want to be in a facility.
Well, it's not being in a facility. I don't want to be part of mechanized society. I don't want to be part of this idea of ebb and flow of pay out, you know, give away, work, don't save, all these things. You have people really on the streets, especially prior military individuals that want to disengage from what we call society or being a citizen. So, you know, you have a large contingency of individuals that's out there like that. And what do you say to that individual?
Right.
You know, it's not too much you can say to them because they're out there on their own accord and, you know, they're living fist to mouth, you know, day to day. Well, that's how we all live anyway. It's just that we have a perception of being okay. So, you know, all these things have to be reassessed too as well. If we got to change everything digitally in society, then the mind states and the occurrences and the thoughts of man has to change too as well to go with those new movements that they want to do. This is one of them.
Right.
And we just got to get used to it or we have to refute it. You know, which one's going to happen? You know? Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. So as you can see on the board here, you see those colors in the trees and everything else. Everybody got their photo out there. I hope they got their photo going. Look at the branches there. Look at the green. You know, jump right in and start filling in, everybody. Fill in those greens, different greens that we see in the leaves. And the canopy in the background. How about on the left side? And then the bear should probably be last. I would do the bear last.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, go into it, everybody. You got your watercolor set out. You see me, I'm already set up. I got the watercolor set out there, my water and everything, water bottle. You know, paper towels are here too as well, you know. I have all that stuff ready to go. So now when you look at the photo and want to see what color you're gonna put for that fur, you know, you'll be ready to do so. Also, you know, don't forget once again to have your photo out, everybody. Get your photo out. That's very important to have so you can see those colors. Those greens and some browns, but it's mainly a lot of greens in the background and around the bear. You know, if you look at the fur, the dark fur, it looks kind of like it's like a brownish color, but it's a darkish brownish color. Probably some purple in the shadows, you know. There's some wet effects on the trees that you can play with, you know what I mean? But if you're doing it in watercolor, you should be omitting out the white areas or the lighter areas and things like that as you're working your way out.
Okay.
Yeah, so, you know, we'll briefly work on stuff like that. But if you notice from mine's on the board here, you know, let's show it again. You can see where we started all that type of stuff, you know, see how the leaves on the left and right side, we have color between them.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, me myself, I would use a regular brush instead of the portable brush, you know, because you can have better sizing and, you know, different things like that. The portable one is probably better for outside or when you're out and about, but a lot of people like to use them, but I would rather use a regular brush.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because then this way you can control how much moisture is going into your mixture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, with the portable one, it's not really that much control with the water on the press. So here I go. I'm gonna start mixing and going with my greens in there. I'm gonna use my dark greens and some of my brilliant greens. I already have a black line there, or everybody should already have a black line there. So you know what I mean? On that case, you shouldn't have to worry about a border or anything, you know. Now you can interfere red with green because it's the opposite of green. And then you can get some of these darker greens that I like to do every now and then, you know. And you just fill it in, just place it in there, you know. You know, let the watercolor do most of the movement for you. Start from the top and then work your way down on items so the water can flow. You want to use the flow. That's what that's all about. So as you can see, I mixed up that darker green. I took the emerald green that I had on my little palette there, and I put a touch of red to it so it can come down a little bit. You know, and that gives me a more natural looking green rather than putting black in it and making a shade.
Mm-hmm.
So these are some of the things, Nadine, when you say, oh, I got to get watercolor under control. These are some of the things that I was giving you when you was taking the classes, mainly,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that you would get to talk about even more the handling of the material. You know?
Yes.
Right now, as we are a group, I give suggestions and things like that, but you know, you really don't get the gist of that now unless you play with the material more. So
That
with
is so true.
watercolor, yeah, with watercolor, you want to work your way down on the page so the gravity works for you. In the
Mm-hmm.
flow of the watercolor, the loose mixtures can slide down the page real good for you. I would work the in between and then the work on top, and then I would work the bare last. That's going to make it feel like you're looking into his environment even more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anything that's pale or light, you know what I mean? You're going to do the first word I did, work it pale, real diluted, and then come back and then, you know, put your darks over top and things like that. Yeah. Come on, Nadine, you got to fill in there, man. You got lots to fill in.
I got a lot to fill in. I was looking at a link. I apologize. I'm making
Oh,
sure we're
oh,
looking
okay. My
good.
bad. My bad.
Yeah, I got the phone here. I'm like, okay, let me take this moment while you were talking to see if I can utilize another source. Let's see here.
Like for some of your lighter areas, everybody, that lime green that you're seeing that seems like it's coming forward, that's a different green. So I would use a different green on my palette. So for that first green that I was talking about, we used this green here, which is like an emerald green. See how brilliant that one is? And now you can see what I did when I put the red in it. So let's show you that one again. I take the red in my palette here, right? And I put it right here. I'm just going to put it right here. Now watch what happens when I mix it to the green. See how it
Wow.
turned darker? It didn't
Wow.
turn like a purple or something. It got darker. Now watch what happens when I add more green to it. See what happens? See that nice grayed out green looking color? Now I can make that green a little bit more brilliant if I want to. I'll just add in some more green. That's it. And look at that nice green that we got there, just by using red and green together, the opposites. And then I come up here and then I place them in, you know what I mean? A lot of times on the right side, I'm going to put them in the dark, in where the darknesses are. So I'm going to use that interfere color wherever I'm seeing shadow in the piece, you see? And the other one, you see my graphite stick there, that the water jogging there still up to the glass, you know what I mean? But you know, it works still. So then look, we put some of this in here. Like I'm gonna put some of this here. That's gonna make those leaves seem like they're jumping out more. So it's a lot of little intricate movements you can do, but you have your black line there, so you really don't have to worry about being so intricate because your coloring book is already there. It's just you're picking color, so this becomes a color theory thing. Yeah, everybody see that? And then once you put those type of darks in there, look at how even the tree wants to come forward. So, you know, you just keep working it. Those same greens that you saw me make down there. You're gonna make a lighter one too. But I worry about the spaces in between though. The ones up top, I'm gonna put more blue in that color. That's in between the spaces. So with that blue, I'm not gonna mix it with its opposite orange because that'll go too warm. It'll look like the tree bark then. You see? The tree bark is like a golden brown because it's wet, you know what I mean? So to show that difference in the with the greens as well and put more of that blue in there, like how I'm mentioning, I come down here and I'll show you guys again. Because a lot of times people want to know the color mixtures and things like this, no matter even if it's loose, like how I'm doing that. You see, so with me being loose with it, but I'm on the glass palette. I'm showing you how I would use that stuff there, how I'm using the palette, the different blues. You have a blue here. Remember, your palettes are going to have at least 2 of each color a lot of times if you have a cake. Watercolors. If you have the tubes, then you can go with a limited idea, and then I don't have my tubes out readily for me to put that on the glass. For our next session, when we do our next thing, and we're still doing watercolor, I will do that so we can see both processes too as well. Because some people may have the concentrated tubes, some may not. All right, look, let's go with the lighter green. I'm gonna go there. So that's like that lime green or lamp green. And then, is it lamp? No, that's not lamp. That's another color. Hold on. See, I still keep my little inserts in there. And that would be a kiwi that they call it.
Kiwi?
Yeah, you see in a Derwent. So I have the palette right there so we can have the names on go.
Right.
So in a Derwent ink tints paint pocket paint set, the orange is a mango. The green that I was just using, instead of being, you know, it looks like a viridian, but they're calling it teal. That's another color. And then they have a racing green, and then they have a kiwi green. So the kiwi green is this one right here, that lighter one, this one. That's the kiwi, everybody. So I'm using that one as a start, right? And then if I want brilliance, I'm going to use that lighter blue. That they call in a mid ultramarine blue. That's what they're calling it, but it really looks like a cobalt blue, or it looks like you can go cobalt if you needed to. Now watch, when I add this blue to it, it's going to get a little bit more intense with the green. You see, but it's going to be a different value of vibrancy than the green that we just did there, you see? So this is like almost like it's feeling like a yellow green. Add a little bit more blue to it if you want to. Depends upon you. You have to play with the amounts of pigment that you want to put in there. You see, so I use a little bit at a time to bring my colors up. When I'm mixing colors, I always mix a little at a time to try to control the value or the intensity of the hue that I'm seeking to go get, everybody. So as a suggestion, you should do the same. Should you have a piece of paper so you can test the stroke? Yeah, you should, until you get to a point where most of us is at, like myself, whereas you work with the material so much, you know what to expect from the pigments.
Mhm.
So when you get to that confident level, then you can just go directly to surface. You can do it now. It's just gonna, you're gonna do what you call mistakes a lot. And that's okay. That's exploration. You see? So then look, I'm gonna put in this green now that we made, that lighter green, right? Uh-oh, I done moved the easel again. There we go. All right. Boom. So now I start dancing in these areas where that lighter green is, just to start it off, you see? Get that density going, showing where some of these greens are, filling in all these white spaces I got. You see, really showing where the green is. And even come in with some of the lighter greens straight off the cake there. And then use that in the upper parts. That's what I would do.
Mhm.
Because in the upper parts of the tree, it's going to be a little bit lighter, not unless there's a density of leaves or foliage.
Mhm.
You see, and now I'm just flushing it in to get most of these colors in there that I want, that I'm desiring to get in, especially the greens in the background. So I want all of that filled in and stuff, and that color being in there. You see, then I can even put it over other colors and make those colors even more intense. Go back to the background color, make it more intense. Use the green. If you got the DeWint set, you can use that. What I'm calling viridian green is called teal green.
Mhm.
Use that, use less water, more pigment. And then the same thing with the red. The red is called poppy red. You know, so I'm bringing that up so you can know that all colors don't have the same name. Like all companies don't use the same names. They try to come up with different names for their colors and things like this, which is fun. Like if I find a color, it's going to be Stevens green, you know what I
There
mean?
you go.
And that's the way they do it, whoever finds the color, it's in your name. And then now you have to just prove that it's an adequate color. How? By winning awards with it, having your paintings being picked because of your colors that you pick, you see?
Mhm.
And then everybody's saying, oh no, that person's color is immaculate, da, 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 da. And there you have it, somebody that's appreciated in society for those reasons. You see? Should you have your blow dryer out? Why not? Yeah, you can have your blow dryer out if you want to. All of that still works. And that's for everybody on our Patreon, everybody that's here now that listens to the videos and stuff. Yeah. Go back and forth, you'll see. You'll see those greens are not really with black in there. Those greens are really, how would you say, interfere with shadows. And then if you study that idea, everybody, shadows are normally real good with interference colors, not just tint, tone, and shade, mixing with black, gray, and white. With watercolor, you're not really mixing any opacities at first. You're diluting everything. So have
Mhm.
fun with dilution. Like watch what I do with the top here. I'm going to use a nice bright, green up there in the middle, right over the bear's head, real diluted, right?
Mhm.
So to start off, most of that brightness up there that I want to see, leave some whites in there, but right down to the bear. You see what I did there? And look at how that color starts to resonate. I'm going to start zooming in a little bit more on certain areas like how I did before. So you can see it a little bit more, everybody. Let me just get it in there. See, I already have the drawing is there, everybody. We don't have to worry about that. What we're worrying about is the mimicking of atmosphere and making this bear jump out. So
Right.
the more that you connect with your ideas of, how would you say, coloring in, especially with watercolor, look at that up there. That's really working out pretty good there. So I'll do it again, spread it out a little bit more. How we doing, Swen?
Okay.
You still there? All right. Morning to you. I saw you there. I just didn't acknowledge the fact of saying morning like I normally do. So I wanted to do that right then, Suan. How are
Oh,
you this morning?
thanks. I'm okay. I'm
Yeah,
hanging in there.
that's right, man. That's what we gonna do. Hang in there every morning. We're here. We are here. You know
We
what I
are
mean?
here.
Use that
We are
scene from The
here.
Matrix. Yeah, that scene from The Matrix with Lawrence Fishburne when he's talking to the whole clan, you know what I mean, in the cave. We are still
Then I went,
here. Yeah. So that's how I feel when we're creating our creating crew. Like how Nadine
Yes.
says, keep creating family.
Yep.
I believe sometimes I'm Morpheus and I'm standing there. He's like, we are still here.
Come
Yeah.
on, Art fam.
Yep, there you go.
We got this.
Yes, keep creating fam. Yeah. You know, or
John, I
the,
got these water pens apart.
say
You know, we
again.
were talking about these pens. I put it in hot water and I got them apart.
Yay! I told
These
you. Way to go.
water
Way
pens.
to go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that worked for you. Way to go. Hot water always works, man. Hot water works with a lot of different stuff, Suan, man. Thanks for sharing that. Now other people can believe it more now, you know. Don, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Why am I sure now? Because Suan did it, and Suan said, yes, Don, it
It
worked.
worked. Yep.
And
That's
that's it.
right.
That's the confirmation that I need. Another person to say that it works. And then now you apply it to your creative toolbox, Suan. And now you know how to deal with any cap on any jar, tube, or cap that's on a brush, how to get it off easy without stressing
I'll
your
tell you
brain and
it
tearing your
was
teeth up.
interesting.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what was interesting.
What was that?
The threads on these pens go the other direction than normal things.
Yeah, that's
Like I
on
don't know where these
purpose.
pens are. Yeah.
Yeah, that's on purpose
Hmm.
because it's turning the sequence around so that while you're working, it doesn't unscrew.
Oh,
Oh,
there
You
you
see
okay.
what I'm
go.
saying? So the thread, a lot of
Uh,
times on the spacing, where's my brush at? I just had it. Here it is. Like with with the brushes, right? Sometimes in here or right at the tip, the threads will go the opposite direction because while you're working, you don't realize it, but you're moving your fingers around it like this, and that'll unloosen it. So
oh,
those threads,
okay.
a lot of times on pens like this, rapidiographs and all those type of pens like that, the threads are set in a reverse cycle or reverse sequence in order to counter that from your natural movements.
Now that's deep.
Yeah, that's
It is
called
deep.
ergonomics. You know what I mean? The form following function idea.
Mhm.
That's all in the engineering of package designs and things like that. So learned that in school too as well. So it's a lot of different things that go into these ideas on why they do what they do in society.
Mhm.
And I'm just happy to be able to share with people, some of these thoughts and ideas. Let's see. Over here, what I want to do is see in the upper left-hand corner, everybody, if you look in between the leaves, this lighter stuff is in between there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that blue that we talked about, all right?
Mhm.
I'm going to put that with the green. And then now I'm going to dilute it a little bit more and add just a touch of that kiwi green or lime green that I'm calling it. And then now I'm going to dance that in that area right there. Let's put a little bit more water in that so it can be watery. Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to work around that leaf there. So now I can have this lighter color that's like at the bottom here, looking like upper atmosphere and where he is or where the bear is, because I don't know if it's a he or a she, you know what I mean? So
Right.
let me not just assume that it's a he because I'm a he doing the painting.
Mhm.
Because for you ladies, it might be a she because y'all are
Right.
females doing the drawing. You know what I mean?
Yep,
So
I hear
let me
you.
just say the bear, the polar bear. You know what I mean? The panda bear. But yeah, you want to work that underneath stuff. So I'll work the lighter stuff as a suggestion with watercolor, understanding the process. And that's for everybody, you know. What's the process of watercolor? Watercolor means that you work diluted and you work each area gradually. You know, I was trying to get that little my little clip out the way. But I'll just go underneath of it with my brush like how you see me doing. See, when it's in the earlier stages, you can do risky things like that because now with watercolor, you can come back over top with a more, how would you say, purer mixture.
Mhm.
And then now those layers work together, and then now you'll get this nice dense look to the leaves and everything. See, the secret to watercolor really is it's layering,
Mhm.
you know. How you can put the colors one on top of another, you putting a darker color over top of a lighter color, you putting a cool color over top of a warm color. You see, these are all the things that go in with watercolor. So this was what I was going to show in my ink drawing class, but we didn't have enough participants.
Oh.
So that's why we're here today. But we got more dates coming up. I had 3 people sign up. So to those 3 people, I know they probably not going to listen to this video right now because they don't know of it just yet.
Okay.
But to those 3 people, if you ever do come on, you'll know that Don appreciates you. And also Manny on Roxborough Art Center appreciates you. There will be more dates coming up, everybody. And March and April. So we just needed more time to advertise. It's the same thing over here. We need more time to advertise and, you know, get the individual's new idea on how to grasp their attention for participation and things, because that's changing too as well.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, as the computer advances, people's how would you say attention spans start to lessen.
Yes.
And then people become more selective with their searches and things. So that becomes a new problem with, you know, entities like ourselves trying to get a foothold on the internet and talk to people and touch people and communities. It becomes an arduous task on how to garner your attention, everybody. And that's the battle. But we're up for the battle. We do
Yes,
it.
we are.
And we're still here
Yeah.
with our 100. How many members we got now? 100 and how many?
89.
Yeah. Thank you to you all. You know what I mean? Yeah. So then look, I put more of that green. Now I start worrying about the greens that's in the front. You see what I mean? Or seeming more forward. You know, I may even take the blue again, right? And do a layer of blue over certain things because we're seeing the underneath. You see, or the underneath of the leaf. If you look at those dark areas in the leaves, and then you see those lime greens. So, you know, some of these are darker green. So I would come up in here and just put that in there. Even make it drip a little bit so it's interesting. You can come back when it's dry and then really add some other effects. But I'm moving like this now so we can get everybody to understand how it works when you just want to fill in an area. Then now when you come back, you know, how intricate you can get with that too as well, you know? But you just want to get in there. Like even for that vine that's hanging, I'll put a light coat of green in there. You see, that starts off the drama. See, now when you got these base coats in, you start coming back and forth, everybody. You know, as an area dries, you come back and you add more, how we say, richer tones and deeper tones and richer greens if you want to. Leave some of the white spots out in some areas, like how you see in the photograph. You see, don't be afraid to take the chance. Just take the chance. Jump up in there. Do something courageous. Just jump in there, you know, or do something foolish. Just jump right in and just, if you put a whole bunch of green in an area, it's okay. You know, how are you going to resolve it? How are you going to resolve it to help us to see? You know? See how I'm doing? I'm gradually coming in with the different vibrations of green and adding them in here and there. You see, we got that effect in there. You're feeling like that foliage is really there. It's starting to pop out, That's why you take your time in the drawing stage, laying out where your leaves are going to be. Because now you know the reason why I was, trying to get everybody to understand that is because when you do those drawings, do those little bit of ideas in the drawing stage with the marker or with the ink, your crow quill and things like this, or the ink in the brush. When it comes to this stage, it makes it that much more easier to take chances in coloring in.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't have to worry about drawing while you're coloring.
Mm.
The drawing is already there. Now you're just focusing on color. Not to say you won't go in and draw with your brush in your hand. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in general what's happening. You see? So now look, I got this new stuff all around the bear now. I think I got all my colors mixed in the way I want to. Yeah, I'm gonna go darker in some areas, put some of that in there. Need variety, I can come back and then play with the intensities and the vibrations by adding different layers of colors in different areas. You see? Looking where this stuff is, use another green. I need a more brilliant green, so I'm gonna use this one here. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. You see, and just drape it in there, let it go. You see, I'm not worried about too much because I know what? That my bear is the most, interesting thing in here. So everything that's happening on the outside, me, myself, I don't worry about. But others may. You guys may, oh my God, the leaves are not looking right. But you see how I'm moving? I'm moving because I already know. I drew them in. That, the marker is there. There's nothing else to draw. I got to fill in. So I start letting things drip and move, all that character stuff. And as I'm doing that, any light or white areas or blanket parts of the paper or the page that I didn't cover, I'm covering with that layer at that point. And then notice how some brilliance starts to pop because you have brilliance back there with that lime green.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm beefing up that lime green, and I may put a little bit of yellow in that sometimes, every now and then, in certain areas, you see?
Mm-hmm.
Could I use the graphite? Yes, I can water down or put the water on my graphite or spray it. Use that little bit of darkness like how I got on here, right? And watch this. I can come in and start darkening certain areas with the leaves in there. And notice how it doesn't disturb the brilliance of that color.
Mm-hmm.
It just brings down that tone in that area. And now it starts to feel like that foliage is doing what we want it to do. Feel like it's like a whole dense, area full of leaves. That's what you want us to believe in those areas, you see? Yeah. Could you go darker on the tree on the right side if you have that in there? I would take the brown and just take brown itself, this one is natural brown in this set, which is like a burnt umber. I wouldn't say a raw umber. Say again?
I love burnt umber.
Oh, you have burnt umber in your set? That's cool. Yeah, it's the same one. Look, let me go down here. You see, when I come down here, what I'm calling burnt umber is this brown here, but what they're really calling is natural brown in this set. So in each set, we all have the same colors, but they, depending upon the company, they're going to name them different things like Crayola does. Like you have grape.
Oh yeah.
For purple colors, you have grape, plum, and all of that. Like in this one here, you have dark plum for like a purple. It's like a red violet type of color. And then you got bright blue and then mid ultramarine blue. With those three there, you can make nice violets, you see. With this one here, I'm using brown, see? Hold on. I got it at the edge of the palette here. So you see I'm using that brown there. And then now I'm just going to use it straight from that color right there, straight off the palette. And then start filling in where some of these dark areas are to add more interest in areas on the branches. So then look, I'll bring it up top here so you can see where I'm putting that brown at. You see those dark areas in the corner there?
Mhm.
Right in here in this corner here. So let's see if I can zoom that in again. Let's see. There we go. How's that look, Nadine? Yeah, that looks pretty
Yeah, it's
good.
looking good.
All right, so now I'm zoomed into that corner so we can see some of the intricate stuff that we're talking about there. So, all right, let's see. I got that brown again. Now, if I wanted to be that type of brown that I'm looking at, I'll add some of that bright blue to it. The bright blue, even though it's saying bright blue, it's darker than the mid ultramarine blue. So I would take the darker of the two, blend those two together with the brown, bring that blue with the brown, and you're going to get this darker color that you're going to see me putting in here. See that, everybody?
Yeah,
And then
nice.
now I would put it around some of those knots and things that's in there. This is the layering idea that I'm talking about because you already see that we have stuff in there already. But now I'm using this loose brush stroke to make us believe bark or the texture of the bark of the tree.
Mhm.
So now I put a little bit more brown, less water, more pigment, so that color can be richer. Rinse my brush off, right?
Mhm.
Add that darker blue. I'm calling it phthalo. They call it bright blue because it's a darker blue. If you look at phthalo blue, it's the same temperature as that color that we just talked about. Add a little bit more brown to that color. And let's see what happens when I come down this way. Oh, yeah, there you go, right there. You see, and then that's that color. It almost looks black because of the reflection of the light in the atmosphere in the studio.
Mhm.
But I assure you, that's that brown that's there. This brown here, everybody. This brown here with this darker blue here is giving us this dark right here when I put that brown in there, you see? So it's looking black, but it's not black. On your palette in front of you, it's going to look like a grayish brownish color.
Mhm.
And that's what you want, really, to match those shadows that you're seeing in the photograph. You're matching that with your interpretation of what you're seeing. And if you look at what I have here, I'm close. You know what I mean? I don't worry about being perfect to it. I worry about being close for the expression idea, you see?
Mhm.
And now I go in there with these darks and I formulate some darks. I follow what's there, what I'm seeing in the photograph. Then I add some darks there, like there's a knot here. So we can go darker on the inside of this knot. It's like a little burrow going inside the tree. Like some creature notched out a hole in there. You see, yeah, look how dark that came. Now around the edges, some of this stuff needs to have darknesses around them because that's showing the texture or the surface quality of the tree bark itself. So then this is another way where you're making up a mark. That doesn't have to be real intense, nah, because I want all the intention to go to the bear. So that's why I'm trying to do this as loose as possible, but still give a nice texture because I don't want your eye to get caught up over here or on the tree bark. You know, I want all attention to be focused on the panda bear. So that's why I'm taking that extra time to put things around the bear, like how we're talking about, like how we did the other one that
Mhm.
everybody enjoys. You know what I mean? Constantly rinse your brush off. Now I would take the that color again, that brown again, and then now I'm going to mix it with a little bit of that. But now this time I'm going to add just a touch of orange to it to give it a little bit of a brilliance. You know, I follow that rule with the Impressionists. When all else fails, add orange to it.
Is that right?
Yeah, for real. Read up on it. If you add orange, it gets brilliance. That's why the Fauvists, you know, Van Gogh, Gauguin, and those guys was using orange a lot in a lot of their pieces.
Mhm.
You know why? Because that'll bring the excitement, you know, the thrill and the spills. You see, look at how that orange just intensifies everything down in there. You see, I add a little bit more to it, just to have fun. You know what I mean? There we go. Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah. Now in the photograph, is it really like that? No, but some of those colors are in the atmosphere. I'm gonna play with those colors like that now. Yeah, there we go. Get that white out of there. We don't want no white of the paper showing out unless it's in highlights. You see? And it's only seeming white because it's wet. It's a wet environment.
Okay.
So the way that you would show that wet environment is by showing some of those diluted areas through, and then it'll have the feeling of it being kind of moist. So you gotta let some of that diluted stuff show through your darker strokes, working around certain areas, and then it'll start to feel more like that. Another thing that you could have did, everybody, you could have got a product called Liquid Frisket.
Sounds frisky.
Yeah, I know. Liquid Frisket is like a rubber cement almost, you want to say, with a little bit of color in it. And wherever you put it at, you can paint, once it dries, you can paint over it and then peel it away so it can expose the whiteness of the paper or the nakedness of the paper again.
As
So
a
now you can,
mask.
right, there you go. And then now this way you can come back and alter those areas the way that you want to. You see, and that's what a lot of the professional artists are doing when you see it in the watercolor magazines and American watercolor and all that good stuff. They're using films and things like that as a mask to, how would you say, knock out areas and leave areas white on the page so they can come back and add the effects to it. Raindrops and water effects on glass and things like that. You see. So yeah, let's see here. I want to put some more green. Let me put some more green.
This sounds really lame. I realize that, but I'm gonna give up for right.
Say again? What you
I'm
say?
gonna give up.
What you mean give up?
No, this sounds good, but because I don't know what
Well,
else to
let's
do
see.
with
Hold
it.
on. Let me see what you got. Let me see
Hold
what
on,
you got.
hold on,
Put yours
hold
on
on.
the screen. Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me get to it real quick. Okay,
Okay.
there you go.
Hold on. Yeah. Expand my screen. So let's see here. All right. Yeah. Well, you know what it is? You're working, it seems like you're working one layer straight across. It still looks fun though, okay? But what you might want to do, Sue-Ann, is start, how would you say, taking your focus from one stage to another. Meaning, now that you got your color there, right? Start focusing in on the background elements, the elements in between the bear and the edges of the page. Anything that's not foreground. So the space over top of the bear, develop some more of your greens in there. You see, work on those areas and then come back to the bear. This is what you would call your process. You know what I mean? If you look at my finger on the screen, it'll be like you're going in here and then you're working around the surface with that first thought, working the background. So hold on, let me expand. Let me take mines, right? And put it back to normal size, right? So you can see this idea that I'm talking about. It's called passages, really. And how do you formulate passages on your piece? Okay, you ready? Here's what it is, Sue-Ann. You got all your color in now, right? Like how I'm saying, right? Like how you see on the screen here. What I'm saying to you is that it seems like all your areas are on one layer. What you want to do to try to get that away as a suggestion, start coming in and you can, I work from the bottom and come up and work clockwise. That's the way I work. You can work either way. You can work counterclockwise too. The whole thing is now when you come in here, you're working with a thought in mind. I want to develop my backgrounds more, or what we call negative spaces. You see, I'm gonna come up in here, I'm gonna skip over my bear and go right to this area to develop the background with those greens more. Then I'll jump over to this area, you see? Do the same thing with the greens and the blues in the background. As I come around, I'm intensifying everything in that background. I'm not touching the tree yet. I'm touching everything that's in between the trees and in and around the tree, what we call negative space. Then after that, now you would come back with a thought. Now I'm just going to worry about the tree. So now I work the tree bark coming up this way that way, and then coming back down around. See what we're talking about now? Each stage of the way,
Mhm.
you want to think a certain way with a certain focus in mind. So after you get all your colors in like you got them in, that would be like working in your halftone. So that's actually good, Suan. You didn't, you didn't mess nothing up. It's just that you're not used to that process just yet. You see? So, that's what I mean by being patient with yourself, so that then this way you can say, oh, okay, I got a good start. Now I just got to start planning my program a little bit more, my process, my movement across the surface of the page to say where things are now. I'm going to work those background and in between elements every time I go through. Do it again. Now it comes up to where you want it to be, then you stay on the tree then. Do the same thing. Remember, you can work the opposite direction if you want to. I like working this way. That's me. Okay? It's just the process of understanding passages. That's all. How many passages or how many times your hand and your thought has to go around to develop certain areas to make it seem like it's working all at once. Okay? Does that help a lot, or
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. Yep, and then just pull your hair dryer out
Thank
and dry it along the way as you go. Use that hair dryer so you can dry it out. See, I got mine's here. You see, I still got mine's here. You see, and then you just and now you just blow it. And then if you do that for every layer that you're working in, you start to move a little bit faster because the dry time won't slow you down. And then your paints won't mix a whole bunch on the surface. They'll just be layered more so than mixing on the surface. You see, so
Thank
it's
you.
like it's keeping the layers dry in between and then coming over top. All right.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. You know the deal. That's why we're here.
That's right.
Ain't that right, Nadine?
It sure is. And
my comrade and keep creating nation.
yes, absolutely. And I just want to say one thing,
What's up?
I hope everybody caught what just happened.
What's that?
And that is that Don was talking about this process of passages at the pass of time as you're working around your piece. And he dropped the knowledge about the fact of the way I received it. One of two ways of approaching watercolor, okay, is the mixing, when you're allowing time to allow the material on the paper to dry or to mix together, and or the use of the hair dryer to speed up that process of your layering. And that the most important thing is that when approaching the way I receive it, approaching the application of watercolor on your work, is that it's somewhat of a diluted process in the beginning in terms of the layering to give the effect of density. Okay, and that is the process to have that look that oftentimes you see in a finished watercolor piece or a mixed media piece. And this kind of thing, y'all, comes with classes that you would have with Don. Okay.
Or going to Patreon and watching the videos, everybody.
Or going on Patreon and watching the videos. And the reason why we say that is we try to sculpt it in a way where you go on Patreon and you can go to a particular section and work in that aspect of materials. That was my goal, and I'm still working with Don in terms of content creation and making it easier for people to follow. Now, we may have to go to look for a different means of getting people to that area, but we need to hear from you if you want to do more of like a master class kind of session, like say watercolor, where we have 3 or 4 people. Yes. You
actually like it.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
I actually like it so far.
Yeah, because it looks like there's some interesting things happening with you in this process. And correct me if I'm wrong, Don. Like the what's happening with her mark making as she's using watercolor, because and everyone check out what Sue Ann actually posts, because Sue Ann, she's very active member. We appreciate her, and she posts a lot of her work that she does even outside of our gatherings. And you can see the growth, and you're going to see more of things being applied as she gathers her tools to continue on her journey. Okay, so that's what I think is beautiful. Her hand is different than my hand, and my hand is different than Don's hands, and no pun intended. We all, because his hands are bigger than ours.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that this journey is we're having fun here. Okay. But now if you really want to tackle this, and in the aspect of your 100% growth in the process of creating art, we're showing you how you could perhaps get there with the guidance of Don. Okay, so that's we're here to inspire everyone to create together, and then those who are really the maverick energy is coming out of them, I'm saying reach out to Don, okay, and just let the ball roll. We got a lot we want to do, you know, but the main focus really is to ignite that which is within you, to take to I don't want to say it's on another level, but it's really like in a place where you are you're opening yourself up to the possibilities of what your hand can do,
Which is growth.
and
You're
which is
expanding your right and left brain capacity to be
right,
able to do different things. You're
right,
challenging your creative bug in order for you to challenge your surroundings even
right.
more.
Mm-hmm.
The true essence of what creativity is.
Yes. And I used to think when people said, even my father would say that, was a jack of all trades, a master of none. And that used to bother me until the gig economy came into play, whereas you had to do a lot of different things in order to like survive. But now I think it's coming full circle again to working with your mastery of something that really calls you.
Well, that's
Okay.
why the whole art thing never really died. Like everybody's worried about the computer taking over the art world. That won't really necessarily happen as long as human beings is here. Because what I understood when I was coming out of school, whether or not to be a school teacher or independent contractor, you see what I picked, is how would you say a thing of long as there's a human being here wanting to perfect themselves, I always got a situation where I can show somebody something. You see, so that's never going to change, even though the computer may, take over a lot of different things, it won't take over that expressionist idea for human beings. And as long as that's there, we all have a process to work on. And then that always reassures that I'm going to have someone to show something too. Same for you guys too as well. But you just have
What I
to.
like guys is your bear really pops.
Say again.
What I like is your bear really pops in that.
Well, yeah,
In
now
that,
what you're seeing, what I'm doing, you see how I'm working the areas around the bear. See, a lot of
yeah.
times your louder colors are not going to be because they're loud from the palette. They're going to be there loud or they're screaming out loud because of what's surrounding it. You see? So now when I go back in and I really start working the bear, I really have a lot of leeway now. Why? Because all that intensified color around it is explaining to me the differences between the outside of the bear and what's on the bear. Now, when
Mhm.
I come back in these areas in here and everything, now I got to look at it and say, okay, what color is that? That's like a brownish tannish color. So then now I take that color, I would use the yellow ochre, what they call in burnt yellow ochre here. Okay, so I was still on point. They can't change the name of yellow ochre. I thought they would try to call it mustard or something.
All right,
You
guys, I'll
know.
see you next week.
Oh, you out of here, Sue?
Yeah. Yeah, for now,
Okay, and
yeah.
have an enjoyable day at church, man.
Yes,
Thank you.
definitely.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you for joining us and for all that you do in
you're
terms of
welcome.
sharing your work.
Keep
I'll look for you
creating.
on the,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna reach
Yeah.
out to you in a couple days. Okay. All right, take care.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thank you. Yeah,
Mhm.
bye-bye.
Now look, you see how this is like that yellow ochre is like an orangey color?
Yeah.
That means that I can take one of these blues if I want to. So I can take the darker blue, I'll put it there. Now I gradually mix those together.
Uh-huh.
And now you're going to get this nice, cool color that you're seeing in front of you for the bear. You have that color right here on your palette. Now
Okay.
I add more water to it to start adding it in areas, you see?
Okay.
You see, gradually, all of that's in shadow right there. So I'll put all of that in there in that area,
Mm-hmm.
lightly diluting, adding some of it there, here and there. Yep, there you go. Underneath the ear here. See how that brownish color starts to come out in the white fur now?
Oh,
Because of the yellow
pull the
ochre.
camera up. Pull the
Oh,
camera.
my bad, my bad. There we go, here. And then what I do is now is like how we did for Swan. One. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now what I do is I'll slide it over. Yeah, you can see that color I just put in there. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, and you don't want to go too dense or too rich with that color right away.
Oh, yeah, that's where I
You want to
messed up.
work in a half, yeah, you want to work in what we call a halftone. In watercolor, that halftone will be dilution.
Okay.
So how much you dilute it. So if you want it to be the original 100%, you would dilute it down from there. So that's why you would make it on your palette 100% and then dilute it with water. So if you notice, all right, let me take it back down to the palette again so I can show that idea of mixing the watercolor. I'm going to put it right in this area right here. So I'm going to take that yellow ochre again, right? I'm going to put it there. You notice how less water, I took more of the water off and now we have more pigment there. You see that, everybody?
Okay.
Rinse my brush off now. Get the excess water out. Now I can take a blue that's already on my palette, but I'm going to take the blue from the palette up in here. Put it beside it, right? See how rich that blue is? Now I start mixing them together gradually. And you see the color that's making in between them?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now, once I got that color, I'm saying, now you add water to that. And now when that water is there, when I put it up in the piece now, watch. There we go, right here. And now in those right areas, like I'll put a little bit of it here, you see? And now you start to see, now I start to dab it in because I want you to believe that fur effect, you see?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some in here, you see? See what's starting to happen in there? It's starting to come to fruition to show you the dimensions of the bear's head, maybe a little bit in front and around the sides here. Not as dark as the ones here, you see? Now I can take, there's another thing that you can do, because you can see a slight yellowish color all over. Well, what that yellowish color is mainly is like that yellow ochre diluted.
Mm-hmm.
So in those white areas, I will come in with the yellow ochre and tap here and there in certain wide open areas, you see, because the fur is not completely white. You seeing what's starting to happen as I gradually do that, Nadine? This
Yeah.
is some of the stuff that you're trying to figure out now. But in watercolor, this is what you do. You put it in, dilute it first to say where these areas are going to be. You dilute it with the water, you see? It almost looks like a 50% painting or drawing right there. That's what they would call in the Renaissance era, doing your halftone idea to build up the piece. You know, a lot of people do that now. You see with graffiti artists, you see white, blue, or silver colors in the beginning. That's their halftone idea, what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I do see a lot of blue.
They'll use the sky blue, you know, or a pale looking blue to start drawing with. And then now they'll start building from there to cover that color with the other colors. And that's the same thing that we're doing. You see? And then you start to build it a little bit more. Let's see, the paw here has some pink in it. There's flesh tones in there. So what I would do, I would take the red, put a little yellow ochre with the red. That starts to give us our fleshy color, that pink salmon type of look. Should I show that, Nadine? Maybe I should show that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, and then right here. There we go. That's that pinky color right there I just talked about. So you're taking that red, whether it be bright red, in this palette is called poppy red. It's also that cadmium red medium it would do comparison to. That wouldn't be a primrose, but it'd be a fire engine red or a firecracker red. These are some of the names of some of the popular companies that I know of. And if you look, so you're going to take that red, right? I put it down here. You see what I did? I put it down a little bit thin. Now I take the yellow ochre and I put it either beside it or right in it because I know what I'm doing now. You see that fleshy color that's starting to happen? Maybe I'll put some more red in there. Oh yeah, there we go. That fleshy pinky color. Now I can take some of that, move it to the side and add water to that. Yeah, and now we'll take that and put that all over the bottom of the paw that's faced up.
Okay.
You see that?
Okay.
And now we're going to let that area dry. If you look at the paw area in there, you can see these light areas in there that look like flesh. So in those areas, I would drop that in there. Rinse off my brush. Dab it down a little bit more to dilute that color even more. Yeah, I got it on the nail too. It's all right, you know. I want that color to be in there like so. I may even use some of the, now, in this palette, it's called sun yellow.
Yeah.
So in other palettes, it may be chrome yellow, lemon yellow, and basic yellow, or basic mixing yellow, they're called it. Then I'll take some of that and like you see like on the high points on the knuckles, on the paws, I'll put a little dab of yellow there with the fleshy color that's there while it's still wet. You see, yeah, even a little bit on the paw there, like how I'm doing. You see? And that's pretty much the only place you see that color. Because there's brown all around in there, because that's the bottom of his foot. But you can see the pads where the knuckles are coming forth and where the nails are. So now the brown would be put around that. You see, so to expose those areas. So in other words, when you're working watercolor, you're working gradually in those type of tones and areas. You see how I didn't go back up into the white just yet? No.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to let that area dry. Then I'm going to go over in here inside to where the belly is touching the branch now. And now that fur is definitely in shadow. So now I go back to that other shadow color that I had made already with the brown for the tree.
Right.
Dilute that one. And then now I come back up in here and watch. See what's happening?
Ooh.
Now I can dilute it a little bit more put a touch of yellow ochre to it just to give it some brilliance, just a little bit of brilliance, not a whole lot. And then now I put it in there. You see what's happening now?
Okay.
So now we have a difference between a tree and then the underside of the bear. See, and that's what that discoloration of the white fur would be underneath there. Because now you see on that left side of the bear, it's all a creamy white over there. You see. So now this is the way you make us believe that idea by getting that basic darkness in the bear, in the panda bear's belly there. You see? Yeah. Hell yeah. Where else is there white? Okay, we play with the white enough. Let's play with the darks now, the black, what we perceive as black. What I would do is I would start it off as a dark brown, like that interference one we did. We take the brown and put some blue in there, like so, and then you're gonna have this grayish color. It's all the same colors that's in the tree. That's why I left the tree and where we at there. Because now what happens is I can come in here and lightly start putting in that color. All right, let me rinse it out, get the rest of that water out of there so it can be more diluted. Now that's not black and water. That's that the burnt umber or the natural brown with that darker blue, which would be like a phthalo blue for some of you. And then playing with that brown in there. Because it's really, you see overtones of browns in there, you see. So I want to put in lightly where some of those tones would be, or the half tone right in there. So now when I go to build up over top of that, it gets darker. Like how you can see how that part of the leg on the inside where we just was working that's at its darkest point in there because of the reflection of the white, you see. So I would put that there like so to start that darkness for the blacks. And then do it like dabbing in some of those lighter areas that's in the fur. Why? So then this way, when I come back with the other layers, I can gradually leave some of that white in it. That's what some people were liking about the other one. It says, wow, it looks like so much texture. Look what I'm doing though. I'm using the dry brush now and that layering idea to put those layers in there. You see? That just starts the madness, you know? I'm not trying to take it, I don't want to take it to the finish line just yet because I have so much of the bear, other parts of the bear to fill in. So now this is where you do all your halftone work now in those other darker areas with that same color we just made, except for when you see a lighter area, you don't want to make it as dense in there, you see? So I come back and I rinse my brush out, get the wetness off of it, and then move that darkness that's there. So I still can see. So then now you can see what I did in there. You see, I'll move it back shortly so you can see even more how the halftone idea is there. Let's move that up into the other parts of the bear, the upper parts of the bear now. So now I put that brown again. Take that blue, put that with that mixture again. Okay, Nadine, you're gonna get this brownish, grayish looking color.
Brownish, grayish, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after that, now you want to put that in your dark areas, or put it in where the bear is going to be at its darkest point. Put it in at a diluted rate of probably 50% of what you're seeing.
Okay.
You see, and then now what'll happen is that'll help when you go darker later on. So you see how I'm dabbing the color in? I'm using a dash line because I'm playing with the fur idea to try to make you feel that texture of the fur, you see?
Can you zoom out a little bit?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, thank you,
Like
appreciate
right
it.
here.
Yeah, there
Right
you
here.
go.
See, I had to start moving around the page now.
Yo, no worries, no worries.
You see? So then now you can see how those colors, those diluted colors are working in that area. You see how it's light on here in the paw when we look in the photograph? So then that means I'm gonna put most of this stuff up here, that lighter version of that gray here, to start off that halftone. And work around that lighter area for right now. You see how I did that? Now, if you really can't see it, I'll go in a little bit darker and do it. And touch it again. You see, and let those colors accumulate. Now you can see how I'm dabbing in there. You see, and it looks like black, but it's not black now. It's not black. That's what I try to tell people in this other little demonstration I did for a family online. They was like, well, it looks black. I was like, take the brown. This is where either you're gonna have to adjust the saturation in your smart TV.
Yep.
Or you're gonna have to look at the palette, because they had the same palette I had that time too. We went over all the colors and everything, and you're just gonna have to look at that color and look at the photograph and keep working it until you see it. There is no, oh, I can't see it, I quit. No, you got to keep looking because you see it. You see it. You cannot not see it. That's why I made the T-shirt design. When my eyes open, it's on.
It is on.
Yeah. The only way you can't see is if you have a vision impairment.
Or
So
your
that
eyes are
means you're
closed.
blind. Yeah, your eyes are closed or you're blinded by something. You know what I mean?
Blinded by light.
Yeah. You see. And now you can see where all those darks are in. Lightly in now. Now what I'll do is I'll zoom out, right? Zoom back out. And now look at that, everybody. You see how lightly those are in there?
Yeah.
You barely can see them, but
Yeah.
you see them dark enough to whereas now it really looks like that bear is about to fall out the tree or something, doesn't it?
Right.
Yeah, and then that's still loose and early in the stages there. We haven't even really gone dark yet. You see, but this is the finish line. So take the rest of your day, everybody, and finish it if you like. Like, I'm gonna go darker in the eyes here. So I would control that darkness once again. Being diluted, you see. And then come back even darker with the brown again and that blue again. Yeah. Now, the thing about black is, everybody, you don't want black to be dominant in your mixture. So a lot of times I try to tell people, hey, what you want to do is you want to, how would you say, if you're going to use black, never use it by itself, not unless it's a man-made item.
Okay. And what do you mean by a man-made item?
That means an item that's made by man, augmented by things from nature. So if you see a wood bench,
okay,
you can put black to that because it's man-made.
Okay. Gotcha. That's what I mean.
If it's raw iron and it's a bench, raw iron bench, then
Right.
yeah. If it's a belt buckle, yeah. If it's industrial plastic on different items that you have, yeah. Leather, black patent leather, black material. Yeah, you just add color to the black.
Okay.
You see, that's always going to be. Now, if it's natural, the tree, the bear itself, no. You want to use interference on that. Now, can you use black in those situations with the bear and everything else? Yeah, if you want to. But just know, try to take into consideration what it is I just, made mention to, which would be if you do put black in the mixture for the panda bear, you don't want to put it just by itself. You want to put other colors, cooler colors or warm colors with it. You see, and if you look at our bear, you'll see why it is I'm saying that. You see, and then you just come back and you accumulate. You accumulate and you let those lighter areas shine through. Or you let the lighter areas reveal itself when you're going deeper with the tone. So if you think about the scale that we did that one time when we did color theory.
Mm-hmm.
That's that 0 to 10. That's what you're looking around to do. Like, look, when I get in here and I see that all of this in here is darker in between the trunk, the bear's head, the panda bear's head, and his arm poking out in that small fork in the tree.
Mm-hmm.
And you see how I add that material there? Now we got that darkness starting in there.
Yeah.
You see? So then this way I go underneath now and I start that darkness, you see? Now we see some of the lighter area underneath here, but it's not as light as what I have. So then now you come in here and you do some of your movements just to start the darkness. You're not trying to go to 100% darkness just yet.
Mm-hmm.
You're just trying to get that to go. This is where I would go in the paw with some of that color because we know some of that fur is there.
Mm-hmm.
Dilute it some more. And now I can mimic where these darks are in the paw. You see that? And now I can add a little bit of brown to that. Because if you look inside the paw, you have these blacks like the fur itself, but then now it's like a brownish color to it. You see? Yeah, like right in between here and here, and the nail here and here. There's a lot of darker browns underneath there. You see? Oh yeah, got them. You see, and now you start to see how this is a gradual buildup now. You're working layers. Now when you get watercolor books and you're trying to get some of the information from the artist, you can understand what it is that they're trying to get you to do now if you go that route.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you omit out the areas where the nail are. Work around it. Put the darks around it. You see? And just like how you see with me on the board here, those nails are going to poke out. Put that brown in there to show where the brown is in the middle of the paw here. You see, take the chance, make it a little bit darker around there. You see? And then I feel comfortable with mine, everybody. How about you? Everyone, Nadine included. How you feel about that?
I'm feeling better and better as the time goes on.
Yeah, there we go. You see? That's the whole important part. Because now we want that to feel fleshy. It has to feel fleshy now. We don't want it to feel no type of other way. So that's why I put a little bit of red in there. Because we won't want it to feel like it's blood or something. No.
Right.
We want it to feel like it's the natural bottom of the bear's paw. You see? And then now I can go darker in the shadow area underneath the bear's chin and everything. You see that now?
Mm-hmm.
I can even take that darker green that I got here, which is like a racing green, they're calling it. And instead of using black, use that one there.
Right.
And just use a touch of the brown with it. And then now we have this beautiful, dark, soupy brown that I'm going to put right in this area right here. And it starts that roundness in there. And now I'm going to dab it so it can feel like fur. You see underneath here. Yeah, look at that. Yep, got him. Because now what's happening is that part of the arm is leaning out above the tree. That's why the shadow is darker underneath.
Uh-huh.
You see, so now I just put a couple of lines in there of darkness. That goes back to the mark making idea. And I still use those dabs in that curvilinear type of movement. And then what you see is it starts to feel like fur in those areas. See, so I developed those marks a long time ago. So now I keep it in my toolbox. That's the same thing I would suggest to everybody else too as well. Once you get a successful fur, mark, You don't want to let that go. You're going to use it in short hair scenarios, animals, you name it. There's all types of other scenarios you would use that dash mark. So make it one with your, how would you say, your mark making abilities. And then you too will see, yeah, the whole idea in there, you see? And as I'm adding it on, you start to see how the bear is changing now.
Right.
You start to see how they develop. See, Nadine, now this is where you can't be scared. You got to go a little bit richer with the color
Okay.
in those areas, meaning that it's less water,
Mm-hmm.
more of the pigment in your
Okay.
mixture.
Okay.
Maybe pull out, since you don't know what your palette can really yield for you just yet, pull out another piece of paper so you can test the stroke so you can see it first.
Yep, got it right here.
Okay, cool. And then now you make your suggestions from there to see, okay, is that the right tone that I need? No, that's too blue, or no, it's too brown, or no, it's okay for right now. Because then when I go towards the ending, I can beef it up a little bit more. You see, and that's how you start building that repertoire that we was talking about, okay?
Okay, got it.
And now you just add. You can lift out, some of those precautions for, how would you say, we talked about correcting things in your piece, lifting things out and saturate areas. Yeah, controlling the water. All of this stuff still counts. All of that type of stuff still counts, you see? So now I come in and I reestablish some darks in some areas, using my dash line, on my dash stroke, on my dry brush that we talked about last time, over top of those areas, you see. And as I put it in, it starts to feel more and more like fur. And that's what you're going to wind up doing. And, controlling those darks in there, controlling the brilliance of the darks in there. Adding some more browns in there, or a lighter layer of brown in there. That's going to darken the areas that you have. You see, remember, don't cover the nails of the bear now when you're doing these darks and everything. You see, play with the browns more and your darknesses. Yeah. See, this is where I say to you, Nadine, you was there. What colors was you seeing when you was there too as well?
Right.
But then this way, yeah, you can get even more intense than what anybody else would get, because you actually was on a trip. Whereas we're living vicariously through you.
Right.
You see, cover. You don't want that white there, not unless you're using that white area for reflections and things like that, refractions and all that good stuff. But once you get the base color in, now you got to start going gradually darker. And then this is where I try to suggest to people get into understanding the shadow areas. Because if you get the shadow good, then, the light is going to follow that. You see, like all this fur in here, got to get darker. You see, but I got it established already. It's established where these darks are now. So now when you go back in and you start concentrating, say for instance, now I said, oh, I'm tired. Then, all right, I would take a break, go to the bathroom, walk around, maybe go to the store and all this good stuff. And then I would come back and start reworking the areas then. Sometimes I'll turn it around so I can fool myself. And then when I come back in the studio, I turn it around so I can see it, and it feels anew. So you're always trying to fool yourself and things like that, you see. So then now if I zoom all the way out, let's see. There we go. See now how it looks now?
Oh yeah, it's really popping.
Yep, and it's textural and all that good stuff. So now when people look, they're going to get excited. So yeah, like I let everybody know, and here that we got the Pelican one into the Atlantic Care permanent collection, right?
Mm, no,
No? Oh, okay. Remember the pelican one? I mean, not the pelican, the seagull
oh
piece I
yeah, yeah, yeah,
did.
yeah. Okay, the seagull. When you said
Yeah.
pelican, I wasn't.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
get
what
them mixed
pelican?
up. Yeah, I get those birds mixed up sometimes because you are starting to see them on the Delaware, pelicans and seagulls together, but
Right.
seagull in the piece.
Seagull.
Yep, and the seagull piece I did with him being in fractile movement, calling it seagull thoughts.
Right.
That piece has now been accepted into the Atlantic Care private, not private, permanent collection on
Nice.
display in their facility. So that's the third piece I got in there. I got two other pieces in there too as well.
Yes.
So
Oh,
yeah, just letting you guys know these pieces can go somewhere anywhere. You don't know who's gonna like them or enjoy them or approve them.
yeah. That's
So, you can take my idea or suggestion as I'm saying to you is you take the piece, you frame it up, or you take a picture of the piece and you see what other people like it. You don't know who's going to like the panda bear or not. You
right.
don't know where it can go. All I know is that we had an experience here.
We
Now,
sure did.
and as a suggestion, what I tell people is find a spot where it can go, whether it be a restaurant, whether it be
Mhm.
the spot in your house. You may wanted to put it in a perfect spot in your house, whatever that may be. Then look into the frame and look into all of that
Mhm.
and what that means for your piece, you see? And then once you get it to go, then you feel comfortable. And who knows, one day you may feel comfortable to show us online again, like Sue Ann does, like
Yes.
Miss Paulette Ampey used to do when she was on a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Miss Paulette, you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Hope
I
all
know
is
she's working
well.
hard. Yeah, I hope all is well. We know she's working hard, and we'll probably see her in the spring or the summer, hopefully.
Mhm. Yeah, hope
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that was her high peak times from what I can remember.
Yeah, her shift definitely changed, so she's
Yeah,
unable to come at the time that we have.
right.
I think
So,
Wednesday was working for her.
right, yeah. But we still shout you out, Miss Ampy. You
Yes,
know
that's
what I
right.
mean? You still part of that Keep Creating Nation.
Be part of the art fam for life.
There it is, for life.
Whole life.
Mhm. And that's why you can just keep going, check out the videos and all this other stuff, and then work it gradually. You see how we work it, everybody.
Oh
Once
yeah.
again, if you put black in it, everybody, just make sure you don't put the black by itself. Because then what you have is a graphic image of the panda bear. If you're trying to make us believe that, oh, this is a real panda bear, then you might want to calm down on just the black by itself.
Just a little bit.
Right. You might want to, add those cool colors you're seeing in the shadow areas in that dense fur.
Mm-hmm.
Either you might want to control the strokes, like how you did last time, maybe. Try not to make them too long because it'll look
Yeah.
like permed hair. Try to make a
Yeah.
shorter stroke, just a shorter stroke and let it accumulate.
Yep.
See
Yep.
how I'm doing on screen? Smaller stroke,
Gotcha.
not the longer stroke, like you was doing a stroke like this, longer, like that. Instead of
Yeah.
doing that now, the short little choppy, I would say little dashes like the dot to an eye.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Try those movements. And then when you accumulate those movements, you'll see that'll feel a whole lot more like short hair.
Okay.
See, I would tell you to do more paintings of Richard, but Richard has more of a longer, curlier hair.
Right.
See, I had pit bulls, so they have the shorter, choppier hair. That's why I got that stroke together from painting my dog a whole bunch and figuring it out on him.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say the same thing for you. Even if you want to figure out the longer hair, I would say you don't have to do a full painting of Richard. You would just have to do a part of Richard where his fur is to mimic that, to
Gotcha.
play with it, to
Mm-hmm.
look at it, to look at the edges, to look at the lines, the shapes, the forms of the muscles underneath where his belly may be, how these things move, how the direction of the fur moves, and then start practicing your strokes and your mark making going in those directions. Like in here, you see how my hand is moving here?
Yeah.
I would move it in a curvilinear way to make you believe that bear's head is even rounder than what it is.
Gotcha.
You see, that's what you want to start doing. Was once you start doing that, it's a wrap. Everything starts to pop more because now you're taking into consideration the surface movement. And that's what that is. Surface moves. It doesn't stay stagnant. We make it stagnant.
Right.
So that's why you have to ask yourself, well, are edges really real, and are lines, straight lines, really real? No, they're not. They're perceptions. They're perceived.
Perceptions of what we're looking at.
Right. Because if I put my hand here like this, right, and I start moving my hand, the only way you see what is an edge is because I'm overlapping something. But technically, there is no edge. There's only surface moving. Now, when I stop, now you see edges. You see, now and that's where all our, vocabulary comes in for curvilinear, arching lines, straight lines, and edges. Yeah. But really, technically, you have to ask yourself, is a straight line really real in nature? No, it's a perception. There's no straight lines in nature.
Is a straight line really real?
Yep. These are all from observations. I don't want nobody to think that I'm going into engineering and sciences. Art is in everything. It's the glue in everything.
Right.
So once you start doing certain things, your natural ambition is to seek out the information of what it is you're trying to replicate or understand the realm that you're in that you're replicating. So when you look around you, you really have to say, like, all right, the horizon line that we look at.
Right.
Is that horizon line real? Because you have to ask yourself, as I walk towards it or move towards it, I'm starting to see the things that I couldn't see. But that line is still there, though, because it's representing the point at which it's the furthest point away from.
Right.
So is that edge really there, or is that more movement behind that edge?
It's more movement behind the edge.
There
But
you go.
it's crazy how our eyes essentially are tricking us.
Well, it's a limitation.
Okay.
Humans are limited. We got two orbs, round things, globes that we see through.
Right.
And, it's a limitation with it there as far as distance is concerned. And then as far as disparities around your viewing opportunity around your eyes. So there's weak points that's there too as well. Like really your eyes is taking two images and putting them together to make one.
Right.
We say right, but a lot of people don't understand it. I'll say it again. You're the way that we observe and see and view our world is that we have two globes in our head.
Yeah.
Those two globes are working together to make one appearance of an image.
But it's not one.
Nope. It's two separate, how would you say, impulses coming in, and they're being fused together by your brain in the back.
Deep.
Yeah. And the way you can see that is if you close one eye and hold your hand up right in front of you, if you, whatever eye you got open, you're going to see more of an angle. You see, so you'll see more of the left side if you're using your left eye. You'll see more of the top or the right side of your arm when you use the right eye. Then now when you open both eyes together, now you can see why your view is the way it is. These are basic optics, everybody.
That's deep.
Yeah. So, optical illusions, things like that. Yeah, that's what an optical illusion is. An optical illusion is nothing more than the weakness in the viewing party.
Ooh.
So as a human being, we have weaknesses. We don't like to think that we have weaknesses, but we do.
Right.
And vantage point is one.
Got it.
Where do things start and where do things end is another.
Right.
Because when you look at the horizon line, okay, that's where we're saying it start, but does it end there? No, because we just said earlier, there's other things that's in front of that we just can't see because of our limitations.
Right.
Now, if you go higher up, you can see further out, but that line is still going to be there. And then it rises up with you as you rise. These are the
Yep, it
small
does
things.
rise up with you. Because
Yeah.
even if you're like, if you were blessed enough to, or lucky enough to fly in a helicopter and be able to land and still be alive.
Yeah.
When the helicopter goes up, the horizon line is going with you,
Yeah.
but
But
it's just a different
go
vantage
ahead.
point.
Yeah, but the whole thing is like, you know where I saw it even better? Like I saw it in the helicopter, but I was so busy worried about the movement
Right,
that I couldn't really focus on the phenomenon. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
So the way that I saw it better is over in South Jersey, they, you know, and in our area, they have a lot of times the balloon fest or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, that's a good one
So
too.
I got a opportunity to pay to get on one of those hot balloons during that hot balloon festival that's in our area. I think it's around, you know, summertime or something or early spring. I'm not sure, but we have hot balloon festivals in our area from South Jersey, Philadelphia, and Delaware, our whole area. And when I got that opportunity to do that, then you really can see it because now the motion is, it's almost like you're on your own personal bike. You're not moving too fast, you're not moving too slow, but you're moving just enough for you to take in the scenery. And then you really can see it. How the horizon line comes up to you. You know what I mean? Wherever you're at, the horizon line is there. Now, when you look down, like how you say, that's a different vantage point or a
Right.
different perspective or a different point of view. You see, nonetheless, that's the phenomenon. So it's a weakness as a human being. And once you understand that, that takes your explorations and expression and things a little bit further.
Right.
Because there's more things to investigate, you know, the sizes of things, the intensity of color, you know, as color gets away from a human being, what does it do? As the color comes towards a human being or, you know, right at the feet of the human being, what do those intensities do? You see, all these things going just from observation. Yeah. And then you can also understand, you know, like I've gotten some other books. You know, I go to the libraries and buy all the old books. I got a couple of people. Shout out to Joshua Torito. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He goes out. He likes to collect books, so we're always collecting art books and things and history. And a new thing now is cookbooks. So, yeah, just collecting all the ones we can get. You know what I mean? And I got a book in here on the breakdown of trees. Like I got other books on the breakdown of trees. But you know, sometimes you want to go and you want to get the older books, like the books from the 50s, earlier than that. And if you're in our area, Philadelphia area, you can check this. We have the oldest books in America in our area. So you may look up like myself and Josh here and get a book like this for $1. You see that dollar tag on there?
Yeah.
$1. Now, what's the name of the book? The Artistic Anatomy of Trees.
Wow.
Rex Vikit Cole is the I guess the writer. But then like I'm just gonna read some things in here. Like he's talking about, you know, their structure and the treatment in paint. So he's talking about just like how I do. A lot of these artists in the earlier years, were into the idea of the Renaissance man, which is knowing, you know, everything, but not being a master of none, basically. But really, truly, you are. So let's look through some of this. Like it's saying the market cart, you know, and it's saying different pencil studies by the author. Blair, you know, Judgment of Solomon, the landscape, drawing in the British Museum. You see, they're showing all the areas where this guy used different ideas from the Romantic period all the way through. Now, this is a lot of times the stuff you would get in a master's or a PhD program. You see, because you're into a concentrative idea. Why does the fork in the tree come there and all that? Which artist was the most successful? You know what I mean? Then it's talking about how these concentric circles are in the tree or like that in the Milky Way, and how, you know, what was that theory? Not Pavetta. Ooh, man, where they talk about the way the tree turns and around and how the randomness or how the branches come out the tree trunk. Well, you can look up that, everybody. That's all in the understanding of tree and nature and tree movements. Like, look, it's talking about here how the plant, does and separates from the stalk itself.
Wow.
So it's giving you all that information and talking about things like that. I've gotten books like that from there. The Still family, if you understand the name Still in our area, is you have a gentleman here that studied plant life in his family. So you have a individual named Cecil Still, who's living now. He's a professor of emeritus at Rutgers University in a botany and biology department. So I have his book. And when I met him, oh, that was fun because I pulled out my drawing book. He said, my goodness, you really do some excellent drawings. He was shocked. He was like, so you really did, yeah, from your great, great, great uncle or grandfather, whoever, that still was to you, the main one. I looked at his books and he had drawings in his book on plant life. So it's just, you don't have to be a master of it. You just have to know how to manipulate plants in your life. Do you want to go to the point where you collect the books for it? That's helpful.
Right.
But the main thing is just having the first-hand experience of observation, everybody.
Yeah.
Observing. And as you can see with mines, I'm going to say for our session right now, it's done. But once the camera goes off, I'm going to add some more stuff to it. I'm not going to lie.
I know you are.
Yeah, I do, Nadine, to make us look good. We got to make us look good. So, and then who knows? I might use this in another RFP that I might find out about for a doctor's office or something. I don't know who else likes panda bears. I may look into the Philadelphia Zoo and see if they're having any shows.
Oh, well, panda bears are hot.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You just have to look around to see where somebody is having an opportunity for, bears or plant life or whatever, fauna and fauna. And now this piece can fit into that.
Right. Yeah, that's a hot conversation right there. Yeah. People love pandas.
Right. But then the whole other thing is everybody in our group, I would challenge to say about half of our group has ambitions of selling their work.
Really? Well, yeah. I don't hear them or see them.
And see, it's something that they don't say because they still coveting it because they don't want to get their feelings hurt if it doesn't seem like they should. But they don't understand us here. We're not going to say, no, don't do that. We're going to say, yes, sell. Put it over here, put it over there. Why? Because it expands for us now.
Right. And
like if you get an opportunity, if you get an opportunity out there and you're out in Virginia or something, and you get a hotel to purchase one of your pieces, what does that say for your group members?
Right. Anything is possible.
There it is, Nadine. You know the deal, my creating family, homie. Yeah, you get it.
Anything is possible.
Right. So then, in other words, what I'm saying is you don't have to wait to show this somewhere. You should go out and find them because they're not going to find you right now. I realize that now after the past 10 years, but this year, even more truly, I'm going to be more proactive in finding spaces rather than the spaces I think are going to find me. No, that's not the way it is anymore.
Right.
Until it gets to that point, then we have to always keep on the lookout on finding these spaces, places. It can be a little sandwich spot around the corner from your house that has wall space.
Right.
If you talk to the owner might let you show some artwork there. This is how I get most of my artwork off. This is why a lot of people don't know of my work, except for, people that are, how would you say, into looking when they go out places. So I show in museums and in galleries, local galleries, you know what I mean? Shout out to all the local galleries I'm with. but I
Mhm.
still look for alternative spaces, you know, hospitals,
Right.
hotels, schools, schools hallways, things
Mhm.
like this, you know, high schools, universities, community colleges, amphitheaters. You see
Mhm.
how I'm naming off your libraries,
Right.
everybody. These are
Right.
places where you can display, even if you're not trying to sell,
Right.
you can still show, be part of a group show in your local area. These things are open to you when you do a piece like this. So
Mhm.
you don't have to think that, oh, nobody is going to want this. You don't know. So
Yeah.
until you know, you have to show. Bada bang,
Right.
bada boom. Whether you show
Until
it to
you
the,
know, you
yeah.
have to show.
Here's another one that I've gotten people to do. Shout out to Ray Della and Maureen, by using your house, the windows in the front of your house, as a
Mhm.
gallery.
Wow.
So you can take your pieces, put them in the front window of your house. If you're in, like, how would you say, a South Philly, West Philly type of situation, where you're on
Mhm.
a street where the street, you can look across the street and see people are walking down the block, walking their dogs.
Mhm.
What you'll find is people are going to pay attention to your images in your window. You
Mhm.
may get a knock on your door and say, hey, are you selling these? Or, wow, I
Mhm.
find these interesting.
Mhm.
And that's what a lot of people that I suggest that to, they get those type of comments. And then that builds and boosts your confidence in doing your creativity too as well. So
Mhm.
the whole thing, everybody, you have ultimate places, like a gazillion places to show your work. You have
Mhm.
a gazillion places that you can present your work. It's all about who's going to give you the attention or who's going to give you the fiat or finance
Right.
behind it. But you got work all around you. So I
Mhm.
would say if you're kind of weak on showing your work and you live in a city or urban environment, use your front windows.
Mhm.
Just tape it right to the window. If you have enough of a ledge, put a little easel there. You can tape it to a piece of board, hang some string from your curtain rod, and then tape it to the string so you
Mhm.
can, or clip it with either bull clips or clothing clips, the wooden ones
Mhm.
or plastic ones, to that line in front of your window,
Mhm.
and then put it there and then just wait and see. Do your own 30-day show
Yep.
and switch it in and out. I've got a lot of people doing that in Old City, University City, different sections, South Philadelphia, Kensington out here. There's a couple of people that I suggested it to, a couple of high schoolers that they're doing it, and they made a little bit of change off of people seeing it because they didn't believe it. I was like, you don't think people on your block are interested in buying art? I'm going to
Mhm.
prove it wrong to you that the public is right there. The general public loves art. The
Mhm.
general public wants art. The general
Mhm.
public wants to talk to an artist.
Mhm.
They want to. It's just that they don't know amongst us who is an artist because we're not standing up and saying, "Hey, I'm an artist."
Here I am. Here I am.
Yeah,
Where are you? Where are
yeah,
you?
there you go. When I'm on the
Mhm.
bus, they looking at me. I had one lady last week ask me, "Well, if you're an artist, how come you're not rich?" I said, "Well, who told you every artist that you're going to bump into is rich?
Mhm.
That's a myth of materialism."
Mhm.
And another lady on the bus said, "You know what? You got a point." I said, "Yeah, creativity is for all of us to do. Now, if you go to resell it or try to make a life off of it, that doesn't make you any better than the average person. It just makes you different. Why? Because of your concentration.
Mhm.
If I would have had went to your editing career, Nadine, and went to your company and said, "Yeah, I'm gonna work with Nadine."
Mhm.
And then I start showing weaknesses on understanding the programs and everything. And then I'm asking you, well, Nadine, what would be a stroke on here that I'm doing, like if we was doing painting, if I was showing you painting? Well,
Mhm.
Don, stroke and a stroke here is not the same as a stroke with a paintbrush. You
Right.
see, and you would start breaking down things to me.
Right.
Other than that, I would get fired. I would be out of there. Somebody's kicking me out. You know what I mean? Because I don't know everything that's needed to be able to be in that environment.
Right.
So that's the same thing with your art. You just gotta just be persistent and keep working at it. Observation is the key. Don't think that nobody wants to see it. Don't take all judgment critical and personal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the minute you take it critical and personal, it's gonna be devastating to you.
Yes.
But the minute that you don't take it that way, oh man, it may lead you to the next place and
Mm-hmm.
place. It may lead you to a more observant painting or drawing of a certain material or thing or space or place or person that you're
Right.
painting.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you do have to listen to criticism.
Oh, you have to.
And then take what's resonating and what is not. You just let it go.
Salt. Throw it over your shoulder.
Right.
Done deal.
Right.
You know?
Because you never know. Like, remember the tree? Remember the tree we did?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The tree was from a trip that I had taken. And just one of many images I have on my cell phone.
There it
was just
is.
sitting there. And then I was like, you know what, I wonder what this would look like as in the realm of our sphere here.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were working on it. And then I showed an unfinished version of it to a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, oh, that's a wonderful, it looks like a woman with a big afro.
There it is.
And I was just like,
wow. Yep.
somebody else was seeing an angel.
Yeah.
And
I
I
sold
just
that
kind of
one too, Nadine. That one's gone too.
Yeah.
I had to do a second one of that one. I had to do another one. I'm trying to tell you guys, don't sleep on these drawings and these paintings and things that we're doing in our sessions. You can get people to purchase them in your area. You just got to present them properly to people.
And, and I'm saying that we're talking about this. And before we went live, I posted an image of the panda bear hanging from the tree. And this is what I wrote. I didn't know if you had seen this, Don, because I know we were about to set up.
Mm-hmm.
I put, I love the fact that a picture like the one of a panda hanging out on a tree could become a work of art. Imagine this. Sitting on your phone are images waiting to come alive. Mm-hmm. You captured them for a reason. That's what I love about our art community. All you need is a cell phone, pencil, or marker, and paper, and an observant eye.
That's it.
And
wonderful, beautiful.
And
I might have to use that for some of the statements that I make for art. You know what I mean? When you're sending stuff in for grants and all this other good stuff, I'm gonna use that as a statement, Nadine.
Go for it.
To try to no, I'm using it for us because I wrote a couple of grants. I got some stuff back, but they declined us. So, but they liked our idea though. They like what we're doing. They sent a letter of encouragement.
Okay, nice.
So, you know what I mean? That means that we can get monies for what it is that we're doing or get funding for what it is that we're doing. So I'm going to keep on that hunting. You know, we might have to send out 100 grants or 100 write-ups, but out of that 100, somebody's going to give something towards the cause.
Yes. And even if it's, we get a little more targeted, about the cause in terms of in a time frame, because I think there's a notion. It's getting back to AI and this whole notion of what is art and what is creativity and can AI be creative and all of these things. But on the opposite end of it, if we become a society where the only art that we are absorbing is that which is a compilation of what AI has gathered from the past and not from what is inside of us, then we will lose it. Like writing in cursive.
That's the problem with AI. AI has a hard time dealing with emotions and experiences. They can dictate or give you statistical, information based upon But you know, they give you excellent images for your screens, and I'm not going to lie, it's impeccable. Some of the watercolor and oil renditions, but they're not physical paintings.
No.
But they look excellent for video lead-ins and all that. That's what
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of
it
people are
serves a
using it
purpose.
for.
It serves
But
a
it's
purpose.
eliminating an artist like myself, or it's challenging an artist like myself.
How about that? Yeah, if we look at it at that, then that means,
yeah, that's the way I look at it. It's
where
a
do
challenge.
you put your focus? Where do you put your focus
Yeah.
now?
I don't worry about that. The AI is so like magnificent at it. It's supposed to be. It's taking statistical information and applying layers and layers and more layers.
From
And every
us.
time, yep. And then every time we at a high level say 1 million of us say, "Oh, I love that image," then AI is going to keep on making images in that way. And then that's what's the issue. Some people that are not, how would you say, with their hand, are running more so towards these images and neglecting the actual experience of creativity. And that's where I lay my hat at. I lay my hat at it saying, well, no, guys, you still have to create as a human being, because you have internal things that you have to work out when you see an external item. You have to express it, whether it is you're cracking jokes about it and you jumping around like the old-fashioned Eddie Murphy joint. I got some ice cream and you don't. That's us being creative at that point.
Right.
You see? So it's all these points that we're trying to throw at you to say to you, creativity is never dead as long as human beings are here. Human beings and mankind is here. We have to adhere to the idea of expression. Expression leads into creativity. We must create. That's where I'm laying my hat at, but that's what I bring my hat over to Nadine and I and our, I would say joining of the minds to have our Keep Creating Nation and keep creating family going strong.
Absolutely.
So we feel very confident in it, Nadine. And that's that aspect of it. We're trying to get you all to understand. That's why we did the under 50 thing, everybody, because we want to touch that crowd even more too. Yeah, we're never going to neglect the 50 and over crowd, never, because we started off with you guys. I actually go to the art centers. That's how me and Nadine met. We met based upon my movements and then her movements with her over 50 and empowering people that are retired, that it's not over yet. You're not done. And I locked on to that because it seemed like it was a good part of what my hat was doing too as well. So I said, hey, Nadine, let's make you a hat and you wear your hat and we all, your hat up there on the easel. Yeah, you make your hat and then we both put on our creative hats on Sunday or whenever to get these people to see that, hey, Nadine is saying on one realm, hey, it's not over for you this way. Travel, take pictures, explore. Look what I'm doing. I'm taking the pictures and I'm bringing it to our environment, our creative safe haven. Now she's explaining those adventurous pictures with us that give us more to create from.
Yes.
You can have the same experience. And you guys under 50 can have the same experience. I argue with some people that was in the age range from 20 to 29. And I said, just going to Maryland is an adventure. A 3-hour trip on the weekend. It'll cost you about $100, maybe $200 on the weekend, if not less. And then you right back to your area. So think about that, everybody. Small adventures, taking pictures at the zoo, taking pictures at a botanical garden, taking pictures at any one of the local or stately environments that are around you is an adventure.
Hey, did you see did you see the video I put up?
Yeah, I did. See, with me, Nadine, I'll put it to you this way. I'm locked in. Every day is motivation for me.
Right.
So that's why I didn't respond. I just put a like on it.
Yeah. No, but Don, I was looking at that thinking, I bet you I could like screen grab a full screen and that could be an abstract. Like I was thinking there was some parts of that. And literally, I kid you not, just what Don was saying, small adventures. This was an adventure to the Camden Aquarium that I did like maybe 15 years ago.
Wow.
I think it was a while. It was a while because I had it. I put the video together, and then YouTube said the music I no longer had license for it. So I put other music underneath it. But my point was, is I kept seeing, and I saw it before because it attracted my eye. I was stuck on this aquarium, and it had all these different aquariums.
Right.
And I was looking at the shapes and the
There you go.
colors
There
and
you go.
everything, and the way it was flowing and was liquid and all of this stuff.
The colors, the greens, the
colors and
blues, the way the
everything.
animals looked in the water.
Right. And
All
then
of that.
and you had mentioned something about how we hadn't done anything in the water related inside. So I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So but I'm saying that because I was triggered because you said small adventures. So it's not like you got to go all the way to China to see a picture of a to capture an image of a panda. You can go to the zoo with your cell phone.
Zoom
and
in
look
on
at-
that joker. Look
zoom
around.
in on the joker. Look, smell, taste the air. Just walk around, sit for a little bit, and be observant, and take a couple of images.
Let the people walk by you. Hear
let
the
the people-
conversations. Absorb the environment, and then take your pictures. Then
Right, and that could become a greeting card that you made. It could become a watercolor painting, a Sharpie art piece of work.
Listen, remember when we did the food pieces, the cheesesteak?
Yeah.
If you go on my Google Maps page, the biggest picture that I have that I took on a small adventure was me taking a picture with a thumbs up in front of a pizza and in front of a chicken cutlet sandwich. Those have like about 15,000 to 20,000 views on them, and still counting. Not the artwork. It's the adventure of me showing me eating a sandwich that I'll enjoy.
Right, right.
You see, that was the picture.
Okay.
Then we took pictures like that, and we did a cheesesteak.
Yup. Isn't that something?
Yeah, and you know how many prints of that I've sold thus far when I take it out? Like, I don't sell it online. It's like I use that as one of the fillers on my table if I'm selling out publicly.
Okay.
Because I know, like, a lot of times I'm over in the historical areas where you have a lot of tourists. You might as well say the tourist areas then.
Gotcha.
So you have people from all over. A picture to a cheesesteak to somebody living in Philly, they might, you know what I mean, go into it because of that. They might buy it because it's on a t-shirt. But you know, somebody that's visiting Philly, there's a higher chance that they'll buy that print.
Yeah.
And
because
when I
that's
color
a memory.
yeah, that's what you're supplying for the person.
Right.
A memory of when they came to Philadelphia. Wow, I remember. And they'll look at that drawing, you know what I mean, that you sold them for $15 or for $50 or $60. And they'll be like, wow. And they'll have, you fulfilled an experience for them just by having an experience with a cheesesteak.
And that's
yeah.
Isn't that deep? That is just like you're right. You're right about that. You just don't know. And you have to be in a place of observing to even be inspired by the fact that, oh, I'm gonna draw a cheesesteak.
Right. It's like a lot of times you have to fool yourself. Like, you're looking around, and when you're normally looking around, what I'm asking everybody to do is to look past their normal sight. What I mean by that is to start appreciating the things that you see around you. Like how Nadine said earlier, take a moment, even if you went to the supermarket, take a moment just to stand there for a moment and look around you. Take into consideration the lights, the colors of the packages, the conversations that you hear. What pictures or what creativity could you make to make somebody understand a day like we all do?
Right.
Grocery shopping.
Right.
How about another one? I was doing at one point ballpoint pen drawings of the thing that we do all the time. Some of us are fortunate to have a laundry room in the house. Some of us go to laundromats. I did a whole series called Sunday Domestication, or domesticated Sundays.
Yeah.
To say, what do we do on Sundays and Saturdays mainly? Domesticated work. Where do we
Right.
find ourselves? A laundromat or a supermarket. So I was doing just basic sketches of those environments. Take a picture with my cell phone, get it back later on, do a sketch of that, do some quick ones while I'm there. Now you're describing an experience that socially all of us go through.
Yes.
So then you could look at that experience of being domesticated and break it down. As a single male, what do you see?
Right.
As a single woman, what do you see? As a group, what do you see? As a family, when you go with your son or daughter, when you go with your it's so many different dynamics you can take and go through it. That you're still describing an aspect of a social dynamic that we all do. Domestication.
And domestication, and it changes over time. And
Yeah,
I
it
think
does.
that's why I think it is so beautiful that we have artists to capture that. Like it is almost like it is our
It is your
why
duty.
we're here. It is our duty.
Well, if you look at art history at that point, or the American art history, or art history in the world, it's the artist's job is to do what? While you're here is to depict the spaces, places, and things, and express the eternal turmoils and heights of society of that day. Because when you go to the museums, that's what you're seeing. When you see the Impressionists was galvanizing what? The immediacy of the day by doing common everyday scenes. The proletariat, the worker class, the janitorial people, things like this. Okay, let's go further back. Let's go back to Velázquez. You know what I mean? The Spanish Baroque period. What was his big thing? Well, he did the same thing. He was doing the people of his day, court gestures. He was doing dwarfisms because this is where some of those people would be. He was hired to do paintings for the king. I think it was King Charles or somebody at that time. But it's the same thing that we're doing now. He was depicting the spaces, places, and things during his period.
Right. And this is really interesting because I was listening to you, but I was also scrolling through your page.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find the other one, but let's see. Can you see it?
Yeah, there you go. That's the laundromat one.
That's the laundromat one.
Yep.
That's over on Google Maps at Don+Stephens+Art. But if you're on the Facebook page, you can
you
go
have to do a lot of scrolling to see those. You got
to go through a lot
all the way in. But it's all public though.
It is.
You have to go through a lot.
Yeah. And I just think it was just really you see me still scrolling.
Yeah, it's still scrolling because you can see the fun that some of the students had. Then you see the different pins, and that little girl there was in Camden, and she stayed. She was one of the last ones to stay. So I loved that because it was her and I. Even the other little girl over there got tired, but this little girl here in Camden at the Camden fireworks, every now and then they have events where I do for the community over there. And wow, this little girl was very impressive because she had the energy that I talk about that you should never let go. Your childlike spirit of wanting to do. And on that day, you can really, that young man, he's shout out to David Puyere. That's his son, but his son he loved those pieces when he saw them online. And he loves music too as well. Yeah, you see it while you're scrolling over there. Yeah. That's one of the private sessions there. That young lady is not with us anymore. But when she loved me, but she really loved doing the work. So every now and then when I have elders that go through some type of turmoil, or they may be on hospice, or they may be in a rehab center like this young lady is, I'll go and visit. And continue their classes with them. Like you see the watercolors I brought with me and things like that to work with this young lady. But that's how we would work. Some of her pieces is there, but I miss her enthusiasm too. She was 95 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, and this was the young lady that I talk about that story all the time. like she was supposed to have dementia and all this stuff. But then as soon as I rip around the corner, hey, Don, big guy, what we painting today?
And everybody's like, what?
Yeah, and you see how she's working, right? Intentively.
Yes.
So then now when it came with the funny part of this situation is when it came to the end, because everybody was thinking she won't be able to do it. We did 2 hours like it's nothing all the time. So even she knew, she smiled at me. And right at the hour and 45-minute mark, she started bringing the dementia back.
Wow.
But she maintained knowing me and said bye to me, gave me a kiss on the cheek and a hug and a pinch on the cheek, and then went total dementia after that.
Wow.
Even my assistant that I brought with me that's taking the picture, I think that was Josh, when he first started going around with me to different places, because I needed somebody to document so they can believe these situations that I'm having. Because a lot of times people don't believe me when I'm saying these experiences. This is one of the pictures that shows that experience that I love doing in the community, with the elder community. Yeah, she could have been doing some of anything, but she decided to be with Don Stephens to say, let's create. And you see her pictures there. I did that purposely so you can get some of the pictures of her work. Yeah. And she loved doing figures.
Nice.
And it wasn't to change her style, it was to add on to her style. So she had like that Grandma Moses type of style.
Okay, gotcha.
So we just, improved upon it. And you see on the table, I have some photographs of things, and we work from photographs. You may see her phone there. We was working from her phone. So I show people how to set your phone. Oh, that other one there underneath the shaft picture, that's a conversation with some during my open studio. Some young ladies came through that were writers, and they heard some of the things I was saying. They wanted to, debate me on some of it. And then when I invited them into the studio and I got them to looking, but then I got the other one to working. And you see how she's smiling?
Yeah.
She was saying, oh my God, you're right. Yeah, see that other picture there of me and the little girl? That's her and I by ourselves now.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
She didn't want to leave.
Don.
Yeah, she didn't want to leave, man. Oh, she was so adorable. Like, to have experiences like that, I'm tingling all over. And there's your piece, Nadine.
I know, I'm getting there. Eventually, I saw it. I said, there's two of them.
Yeah. But nah, that picture, that young lady over there at Camden Fireworks over in Camden.
I like this picture.
Yeah. Oh, that one there. Yeah, that one was during the Black History Month over at Smithville Mansion in South Jersey in Burlington County, the historical spot. That's the carrot tree that you can't see anymore, everybody, because the Kensington Food Co-op is closed down.
Oh no!
But before they closed down, their new people, new management painted over it.
Oh wow!
So the only references I have is the pictures that I have online. I'm so glad that we're in this era where we can take pictures like that. Yeah, that's the class that the young lady was in. You see how many people was there. There was a couple of more people there, but you see her in her little position, how she got everything around her and she's listening to everything I'm saying. You see me talking to her. Right. I'm really not talking to everybody else because her energy was matching mine and I was just stuck on her. And she was stuck on them big brown eyes, was looking at me, and she could draw. I don't have any of her pictures on display, but that little baby was drawing, man. She was getting it in. And that's what I love. And that was the first the black and white t-shirts we got, Nadine, of Keep Creating, remember?
Yep. That was the beginning.
Yep.
That was a quickie.
Yeah, that one shrunk on me, Nadine. It's shrunk now. It looks like a onesie now,
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
Nothing.
I was thinking, until you get your website up, maybe I need to take a couple of your the ones that you've created and then put it on the other store. I don't use that store that much.
Yeah, put them on there.
And then put the link. And so that at least we have a link going.
If you want, you can put a price on the ones that we're doing for the demonstrations I'm doing here. I sold them for in between $300 and $450. So we can just go for the 3 figure because that's for our people here. So if they ever want it, it's
Okay, I gotta see if the price point, if they do $350 for the tees.
Oh no, not for the tees. The t-shirts are different. I'm talking about the demonstration pieces we talking about.
Okay,
Like this piece here, this one here. Say for instance,
right.
somebody wanted that. Like I've already been selling these.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Like I've
Oh,
sold, yeah, that's why I brought all of that up today so you
okay.
can understand. Like when we're talking about different ways to generate funds, well, that's what I'm doing. I'm taking this particular version and I'll show it around.
Mm-hmm.
Or, now I'll get responses on the Google Maps page.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll send it out to the RFP. So I've gotten, that other one in, the Seagull one. And now I think another company is looking at the other Panda Bear one.
Mm-hmm.
They like that one for their children's section or something.
Nice.
Just think about it. You got doctors, you got pediatricians and things. See, when people don't think, or to all my people, I know we still record, to all my people that have ambitions to really want to sell
Mm-hmm.
and live by your word, you must, in this era, you got to be open, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You may not be seen by all the popular places, but you
Mm-hmm.
have to look around you and see, are there alternative places and spaces
Right.
where you still can function locally in your arena?
Mm-hmm.
Don't
Mm-hmm.
put all your ambitions, I'm not saying don't put any, but don't put all of your ambitions on trying to be in the Philadelphia Museum
Right.
or being with the Guggenheim or you might not, you might not be able to penetrate that realm, but you'll be able to penetrate your local realm.
Right.
And who knows, from your local realm,
What happens
people,
after?
exactly, because you don't know who's in there.
Mm-hmm.
I've met a lot of people from the newscasters and everything just by being at the Reading Terminal drawing in one of in the food court.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll walk by and they'll stop and look. And I'll be like, hey, aren't you? Yeah, I am. Oh, don't worry about it. I just want a handshake. I don't want to, you know what I mean, anything. And that's how I've sold to some of those types.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know who you're going to meet where you go places. You just got to be ready. So for everybody that has ambitions to want to sell even these works, your rendition of this, hey, be open to the environments that are around you. Don't think that you can't. For all our people that's 50 and over, don't think that you can and nobody's going to pay attention. Not true. Not true. You may have an audience out there that you don't even know is out there.
Right.
So keep creating, keep doing, irregardless. And then for everybody that's not doing it for selling factors, they're doing it for their inner reasons. You keep doing it to make yourself feel even more and more engaged and engage yourself more with your environment. Take more pictures like how me and Nadine was talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Engage it around because you have the time now. Fill that space with creativity. Fuse it in with your everyday. We're not saying, oh, stop doing everything else and just paint. No, we're saying your day is a creative day.
Absolutely.
Fuse it into your day. You gotta say, for instance, you gotta go pay bills or you gotta go talk to the Comcast people and you really don't. Well, that's part of your creative day. How are you going to create yourself to go talk to those people to get what you need to be done and then get back to paint if that's what you want to do? Your whole day is creating your meal. Whether you're picking it, you go to the restaurant, pick it creatively, pick it by the colors, things like this. If you're making your own at home, make it with the colors in consideration.
And dance while you're making it.
Turn some music on, dance.
Yeah.
Party, make it an experience. That's what we're saying.
It's all about having an experience, really.
Yep, that's the creative journey, everybody. So
and that's what we're trying to tell you. That's what we're trying to tell you.
Yep, all day, every day.
And if you're joined at the hip with this, you might as well use it to your advantage. And you probably have 500 pictures on your phone.
Yep,
videos. Took the picture and videos. You took the picture. You took the videos. And then maybe if you're really courageous enough, you put it up on Facebook to share with your family and friends. Right.
Well, that's what that peripheral is for.
And that's what that peripheral is for. But what we're saying is that there's so much more that could be available to you in terms of tapping into your own creativity. And why should you be tapping into your own creativity? It's because that's what we're here for.
Yeah,
That's
it helps you to work out all your human endeavors when you create. It's a proven fact. Put it in on Google and you see. Ask Google, is being a creative person helpful to the lifespan of a human being
right,
or a detriment to a human being? And you're
right.
gonna see that it's a positive.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. You
And then
got me
just
going.
yeah, I mean, because I do it every day. That's why I said I just put a like on your picture thing. Say, hey, did this make you feel creative or make you want to create? It's like soon as I saw it, I was already in creative mode. I saw the shark flying by. I saw the reflections on the.
Yep.
I'm already right there. I'm in the ultimate position of being motivated to create. Else I wouldn't made the t-shirt idea that Nadine got on. I really believe that. As soon as my eye, I'm like a little kid. As soon as my eyes open, it's on. I'm happy. If you're not a morning person, you would not want to be around me. No, you wouldn't, man. As soon as that sunlight or that light comes on outside, I pop right up. And I'm happy. I'm running around. I'm goofy. Oh man, you'll be like, man, what? No, I don't want to hear that early. So if you're a morning person, do not call Don or do not ask Don to be there in the morning because I'll be there early, knocking and tapping on the door, making noise. Oh
Yeah,
man, yeah, I'm a
yeah.
morning person. I'm an all-day person, but I enjoy mornings. I like
There you
seeing the
go.
sun come in.
There you go. Well, to answer the, Don said, search Google or whatever to find out why, if you want to know why it's so important to create. And well, Don said it, so I went there. And
Yep.
let me
What you
see.
see? What came up?
Okay, here you go. All right, let's see, share. All right. Creating it.
Psychological benefits. Look at that.
Right, right. So I asked, why is it so important to create as human beings? Expression without judgment. Creating art provides an opportunity to express ourselves without fear of judgment. It's a sense of purpose. It can give a sense of purpose and accomplishment, helping us feel connected to something larger than ourselves.
Man, copy this and send me a copy of this one.
Oh, okay, you
My
got it. Empowerment. The act of creating itself can be empowering, boosting confidence to take on new challenges and set goals, which is something that I do. Like being here, I'm now empowered to go and work on my travel videos, and I got a lot of stuff go through. Mental health. Engaging in art has a positive impact on mental health by helping process emotions, reducing symptoms of depression and anxiety, and providing a sense of accomplishment.
Hear that 50 and over crowd? Yandy
there
crowd?
It is.
You hear that? It's right
There's
there.
There's a reason why we're doing this. Physical benefits, stress reduction. Creating art can help reduce stress, build self-confidence, and improve problem-solving skills. Physical well-being has been linked to reducing chronic pain, boosting the immune system, improving motor coordination, and increased dexterity, holding that brush.
Yep, that's what I work on with the Homelink crowd with stroke patients and autism and all that. Yeah.
Okay. Storytelling. Art plays a crucial role in storytelling, allowing us to express ourselves in ways that words alone cannot do justice to. Social change. Don. Art is an invaluable tool for creating positive impact by bringing people together and sparking meaningful conversations about important topics upon which we say sorry for talking art.
Yeah.
All right, now here's the big one. This is the theme. This is what we talk about. Humans are essentially born to be creative, with creativity being a skill that sets us apart from other animals. Creativity is in our DNA and is what makes us humans, leading to innovation, progress, and various forms of art. In summary, creating allows us to explore our creativity, understand the world around us, express emotions, connect with others, and ultimately lead more fulfilling lives. That's why
drop a bomb.
We are doing it. Drop the mic. Drop the mic. There it is. Dropping it. It's tied up there. Sorry, folks.
Oh, it's all good. We got the sound effects. We made our idea come across.
Okay,
if they watch this video, if they don't get it now, I don't know what to tell them.
I don't know what to tell them either.
Yeah.
But so I got this from an AI site called Perplexity.
Even
And
AI agrees with us.
yes, this is an AI thing, which is just a collection of stuff across the internet. The reason why so far I like this site is because up here it's citing sources,
Yep.
which you can click and link onto it and read where they got the articles from. And they will also cite videos as well and related topics.
Dope.
So that you could go even further. So I'm saying that I copied that.
Thank you,
And
Nadine.
yep, no worries.
Send that straight to the messenger, man. I'll get it off
Yeah,
from
it's
there.
coming. It's coming. And if anyone else, maybe I'll post it in
Yeah, post it on our
us.
page, man. There's
Yeah,
nothing against
because
that. That's what we stand by. We stand by everything that said.
yes. I just thought it was on point. Like we're not missing anything. It looks like, oh yeah, there it is. With the links. So copied it with the links.
Okay, cool.
And that's in there. Why yeah, so I got to make it a point of posting that up in there for everyone else to take a look at. I know it's a lot.
And then put at everyone on there. That's how you reassure that everybody on our page, or at least a large majority of everybody on our page, is going to get that.
Well, they said, I did that and it said not everyone.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It might be 75% of them, maybe half of them, but at least, some of them will get it. And then from all of that activity, I know sometimes I'll get a message from somebody that's from you on my bell list or whatever they call it, information list. And they say, oh, Nadine, like this person that you already know. And then it asks me to go to that same thing and see what Nadine said. And I look at the rest of the comments, and then that's when sometimes I'll leave a comment or I'll just put a love there. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. This is yeah. Everybody should read those things we just read off, and even on the video, I'm an advocate of stripping away the video aspect and leaving the audio so you can use it that way. I think that's another good one right there. We had another good conversation on that behalf as far as excuse us for talking art, you know what I mean?
Right.
Absolutely. With society at that point. And then we gave you a reference at the end. In order for you to look on your own, to be able to see why these two individuals are so enthusiastic about the creative process and its application to the public at large.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm just posting that for our art fam. I put the link in there.
There it is.
All the reasons why we're here and why this is so important. And it even goes to a website. So everyone check that out. I am
good information, man.
It is good information. And while that's doing that, I am also going to go over to, let's see, I wonder how I could do that. Oh, maybe I can do it in here. Let's see.
What's that?
I'm going to put it in the chat here. I'm going to see if it comes up.
It should.
Let's see. Yep, it's coming up in the chat.
Yeah, it should. As long as it's a viable link,
yes,
it should come up when you put it in there.
Okay, so I just put that in there, connected to this video so people can see it. Hopefully, people will be able to experience like what it just in a nutshell. There's so many different points of this is not like, okay, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
This is not really an art class per se.
No, it's not an art class per se.
Right. What we have created here is a
weekly workshop.
And a weekly workshop. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. A weekly workshop where we get together and we create and we talk art and life.
That's it.
Okay.
That's why we're here. And we're showing everybody how you can still communicate about, public and social things and cultural things and how it all links around our creative process. us creating with different challenges each week. Like we're not just saying with Panda Bears, no, we on Panda Bears because Nadine took the trip. Sometimes we don't know what we're going to do until the day of, you guys, to keep it even more impulsive. So, Nadine at first wasn't, she enjoyed and admired what my style, but she really wasn't buying into it until a certain point where she started showing more of her own photos. So once she started using her experience, now she sees, the beauty of our impulsiveness every week. Because it's fun then. Like, yes. Nadine, what pictures you got this week of a trip that you went on?
But and it's not a but what was happening, Don, was as we are in our partnership, this collaboration of our passions for inspiring people to create, to improve themselves to grow, to absorb themselves into something, to have an experience, and how so important that is. And that the fact that on my end of it, I'm coming from the aspect of having these experiences, being inspired by certain moments in time, capturing it, because my life is always, and as far as I can remember, has been about capturing and sharing
moments. Yeah.
And there've been moments. And then to be able to take that and reinvent that in another realm. So I'm like, here, I got something that really got me excited. And then we go to the races. And then it's alchemy.
Yes.
It's alchemy at its finest. And that, it's not like you have to be a scientist to be an alchemist. We're all alchemists.
All of us are. The minute you pick up salt and put it in water, you're an alchemist.
Right. And so to get into that mindset, it changes how you walk about. Like, I am forever changed by the experiences that I've had sharing with the art fam here.
Yeah. You can't be the same after that. Your observations nope, you won't be the same once you start really looking the way we're suggesting.
Yeah.
It's height for me to add on to what you're saying is that it heightens my observations, because now I go out every day looking for something so I can have another experience now. So it doesn't end for me either, you guys. Don't think just because people like myself that have the skills and everything else, the ability to make you go, wow, it just stops at a certain point. No, the better of all of us that are artists in America, I'm going to talk about that now, is always searching for something. The journey never stops. You can, I got a lot of art friends, and they are always on their journey. You know what I mean? I had another friend, Timmy Graham. He gave a call back, and he's going back into his theories and theorems and working out paintings and things like that, and his color theorems. Very excellent artist, man. He broke into contract work and construction work and made his own company, and did the Renaissance Male thing. And I'm very proud of him, and I salute him all the time. Excellent painter. And now he's back to doing his paintings because now he doesn't have to worry about economics when it comes to this painting being produced. He can purely worry about theorem now. He can purely worry about his ideas and thoughts around what it is that he does. And that's the aim that all artists that are in the realm where I'm at want to be. You want to be in a realm where you can, I would say, exercise these thoughts and these epiphanies that you're having on a day about, reflections and refractions and, aspects of light and things like that. Even if it's internalized, you're still looking at how to expand your repertoire of imagery, your repertoire of mark making. Is there another combination of colors you can find? It never stops, everybody. The minute that it stops, though, now I'm talking about for me, I learned from art high school, and one of my favorite professors was Thomas Nagley. I think he's still living. He might have passed. He was like 96. But what he said to me in 87 still sticks with me. He said, never be complacent. Complacency is death.
It is. It is. I ain't gonna lie. I saw it coming. I saw it
and it's
coming.
in my yearbook. He wrote it in my yearbook too. So I still got it. And I read it every, other month or so to reinforce that idea. But complacency is, a form of death. You know what I mean? It'll make you stop. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Because you're comfortable. And since you're comfortable, then you're complacent. Now that you're complacent, you'll start taking more time off from your everyday thoughts on things. So, in other words, not to ever become complacent with your processes. Always seek to find and do and put in new pits. If you get bored in one space, put it in another space.
Put in another
Yeah,
space.
it gets boring in the living room, put it in the
Mhm.
hallway.
Yep. Pick up
You
some other
know?
kind of medium, whatever.
Yep, there you go. That's why we do
Mhm.
so many, we do whatever's around you. That's the philosophy. Yeah, most people that are economically challenged have to stay in that realm sometimes, but not all the time. But it's a good realm to be in when you're like, I know I can speak for me, I get bored easy.
Mhm.
Or sometimes my attentions get swayed. So then when that happens, I'll do watercolor like this. Then when I get bored with that, I'll go over in the corner here and I'll do some acrylics.
Mhm.
Then now you can see where I may do some food and stuff there.
Because you got to eat every now and
Yeah,
then.
yeah, exactly. But then now you see all the other stuff on the table. You see the computer
Right.
there. I may jump on the computer. I may work on my palette work there. I may work on my sound stuff.
Mhm.
Everything is creating. I may work on more painting, or I
Mhm.
may put more stuff inside my drawing bin. You see, do all the work there and then go through the drawing bin. There's always something to do, everybody. You
Always
just
something to
have
do.
to be motivated to do so, everyone.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, it's like 1:15 and we're
Yeah,
still
we
here
went there
talking art.
today.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did.
But that's
Well,
good for you to strip down at the end and
mm,
put on our, podcast stuff if you still have
yes,
the opportunity to do that.
yes, yes. And I pushed out almost all of our episodes on the YouTube podcast section. So you can find it there. If you're in the
Okay.
car and you want to
Mhm.
listen and play it along, it comes up differently. As a matter of fact, I like the way it comes up because you're going to see the earlier versions of what we've done
Mhm.
chronologically coming down to where we are now,
Mhm.
which is a lot better than how it is displayed on Facebook, which is the
Right.
opposite end. So
Hmm.
that's probably a great way of experiencing it. So check it out. Still,
Well,
let's
I
paint
checked
and
it
draw
out.
along.
I like it because it
Okay.
shows our progression and our
Yes.
impulsiveness. Because you can see how haphazard it was in the beginning.
Because hey, it was COVID. We were just showing up and doing art and
Yeah,
asking other
man.
people to come. It
All
wasn't
right.
like we were saying, um, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, it's nice to be able to pay the bills, and we hope that we can get to that point where more
Hmm.
of that is getting taken care of. But it was just really about the experiencing and knowing that, say, Don couldn't get out to meet with folks because everything was shut down.
Yeah.
And that we turned around and, I was stuck at home. I was working from home,
Uh-huh.
but I was stuck at home, and to be able to get together and create and get inspired, and that it wasn't doomsday. There was
Right.
still things that we could do.
Right.
So definitely check it out, share it with other folks. You can share the link or whatever. You'll be able to find it. Just search for it on YouTube in the
Hmm.
podcast section. That's where you'll find that. I think we gotta find a maybe a better place for the under 50 theory folks, because maybe
Okay.
they're not in Facebook. So we may have to take a look at that. There's another option that I'm checking out.
Instagram more.
There's
I'm
that.
finding a lot of younger people on the Instagram more.
Okay, so there may be then that means another channel has to be created for that.
Yeah.
So have to look at that. I was also checking out another place called Fanbase, which is really nice. It might
Uh-huh.
be a place where kids are that a channel
No,
can
they
come
got a
up with
lot
it.
of new things that, our over 50 behinds don't pay attention to because
Right.
we're,
And
we,
yeah,
we,
but the
we're,
fan
we're, we're
base,
products of habit. We like the
yes.
Facebook and the Instagram because
Mhm.
it's the easiest ones to get to.
Right. And so yeah, the fan base one is it's set up to be where it could be a membership where you're
Mhm.
paying like $5 a month. It's a 4.99, and you have exclusive stuff. You can post that way, upload that way.
Mhm.
That requires a little bit of maintenance. But what we want to do, and anyone is still listening right now, I'm speaking to you. We are speaking to you, but I'm also going to put it out there. You're listening right now. we've got kids that are under 50 that want to do art. And I know we've been targeting and speaking to older adults. And we may have to adjust how we talk a little bit to be more inclusive of the young folks. But as we go on, we want to make sure that we are connecting with the younger crowd as well, because, you know, we are all artists. So with that being said, I think I'm almost losing my train of thought.
It's okay. I'm right here. I got you.
Yeah. But the fan base, we want to hear if any of our young folks that follow Don, that every now and then or whatever, they're checking in to see what we're creating. I want to know if fan base is on your radar, because if this is a place, then we can go there. If you're saying no, it's just Instagram, then we'll focus with that. So I might put a vote up or something like that to see where people are, to get feedback, a poll. And we want to know
which peripherals you
what
function
peripherals.
on.
Yes, we want to know. And this is how you can truly help us help the community grow more. All right. So I'm putting down here poll. Where are you? Where do you want to see us? Okay. In terms of social. Okay. So we appreciate you. We love you. We're glad you're part of the art fam. We want you to keep creating. We'll see you later on in the week, because we have our replay, and we may have a few adjustments to how we do things. But I'm going to discuss that with Don a little further, and maybe a little flip. Maybe the replay on Sunday, and maybe a session on Wednesday and Thursday, I think we were talking about. And that's something, maybe, I don't know. We're going to see about that. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. That's not etched in stone, but we'll be talking to you. So listen, enjoy the week. We'll talk to you soon. Keep creating. Loved hanging with the Panda. Let's move on. There you go. And as always, keep creating, everybody.
Yeah.
Keep creating. That's right.
And
keep
then
creating.
Back to our piece there. Bang.
Hanging with the Panda.
There it is.
All right.
Be sure to sign yours. Yeah.
All right. Hold on a second.
Make sure you sign it now, Nadine.